Hello, hello. Whoa. Ow, my ear. Hello, good evening. I'm kind of the wrong person to complain to about the ads. Abs? What abs? Ads. The same letter, but the other way around. Like, I cannot turn them off. The most I can do is put them once every full hour. So it's like, okay, we do them in the beginning, and then we don't have to see them for a full hour. It sucks, sadly. I wish it was different as well, but that is the way it is. You desire destruction. Okay, that, you know what? Actually, that's fair. That's fair. Valid. Also, thank you for the pet and the resub, Akira. 40 months. That is so crazy to think about. Like, oh wow, I have been doing this for a while. But yeah, welcome in. Welcome to a Wednesday stream, which frankly we haven't actually done any Wednesday streams in a few weeks, I feel. So interesting. We're actually doing one on Wednesday now. But yeah, we finished chapter 4. Yeah, we ended relatively early. You've been around for a slightly shorter while, but even then, not that much shorter. Hi. Like, whenever you resub, I'm like, oh my god, I've been streaming for that long, because you've practically been there since the beginning. It's like, okay, when Akira resubs, I know I will have hit another milestone. Boy, what a week! It's only Wednesday. No, it genuinely is though. Has the weather been as crazy for anyone else? Because here it's been... We went from, oh yay, April weather means it's slowly getting warmer, it's sunny out, cool, to death, destruction, thunder. It was hailing yesterday and today. It hasn't really stopped raining for the most part today. Like, right now it's not raining, which is pretty darn nice because the entire fucking day it had been raining. So it's like, okay, sure. Tomorrow it is literally supposed to be a -1 degrees Celsius. But still, like, what the fuck? I thought we were finally going to the, hey, it's spring, it's getting warmer. But no, we instead, in the fall, April, everything is happening weather. Sue's misadventures continue. We have one more in-game mystery that is counted as a mystery you, the player, get to solve left. Though, arguably, I don't think we'll actually reach that today, because we are just at the beginning of Chapter 5, and there's Chapter 5 and 6, and then the mystery solving, and then we will be reaching our first end, and I just don't think we're actually gonna get there today. But we're gonna see how far we can get at all. As soon as I actually pick up my controller and press the darn button. Hold on. Wow. Where is it? There it is. Went from sun to sun, snowfall overnight. Okay, to be fair, it is not snowing here. It is not snowing. It's only raining a lot. Thinking back on the events of the previous night, there was me to emotional turmoil. What were the events of the previous... Oh, right. The events of the previous night were Yuzuriya, Yatsushiro, and her fuck-ass girlfriend who cut her hair now has a horrible fucking fringe situation going on. We're suddenly in the library, we're like, hey, we sent a letter because we're now being mean, because we needed someone to take an antagonistic role for some reason. Even though the same fucking Yuzuriya Yatsushiro was like, hey, I'm going to give you a hint so you can find out the truth about Mayuri. Because she definitely knows the full truth about Mayuri now. But she doesn't want us to reach it for whatever reason. Now she's being mean to us, and I'm just like, okay, fuck you too. We're going to find out the truth anyway. There we go. That's what happened last time. Good. I'm so good at making recaps for the last stream. All I can remember is the heat on my cheeks and the warmth slowly slipping from my arms. Yeah. And then she also, when Erika tried to follow them, she kind of shook Yuzuriya shook her off, and she fell over and lost consciousness and everything. So, and then it must have been time for the nightly patrols because suddenly the teacher on duty was there asking me questions, and Erika-san was taken from me. Oh no. By the time I probably came to my senses, Yuzuriya, Yatsushiro, and Nidin and Komikado were already long gone. It was as though they never were there at all. Very close to surface. I mean, you want me to come uncomfortably close? You want me to do that? I can do that. Hold on. I can. Fuck you. Oh no. Oh no, Cleo. No, we don't want that. The careless attitude had me wondering whether it was all a dream. Or a nightmare, actually. I was taken to Mother Katabami's room and subjected to a long interrogation. But the fierce rebuke my evasive words garnered impressed upon me that what happened that night was real. She cursed me over and over in my muddled state, and each time I lied. I couldn't tell her that Yuzuriya, Yatsushiro, Nidin, and Komikado had been there in the library, but they had been the ones who heard Erika-san. Besides, even if I did tell the truth, she surely wouldn't have believed me. So, don't lie. For once. In a single stream that we're doing. I should have told Mother Katabami everything, but for some reason I didn't want to. I felt that were I to state it out loud, something would break. And so, after a long night, I ended up going to class straight from Mother Katabami's room. Oh, that's crazy. When I opened the door to the classroom, I'm met by the usual boisterous clamor. I'm reassured by the normality of it all. Hold on. As soon as my classmates see me, the noise dies down like a wave receding from the shore. They regard me as one mighty intruder. So what was the story? You had a fight with Erika, you're the one who hurt her? Is that the story we're telling? Because if that's the story we're telling, god fucking damn it, Sue. Don't lie for 10 minutes challenge? Impossible. It's only white lies. It's only lies that are better for everyone involved. Thank you for the busted. I remember my first day at my new school after moving to live with my grandfather. The students looked at me the same way when I entered the classroom, like I was a strange Sue animal. Get a grip, Sue. Oh. An angry shout breaks the silence as Takasaki-san makes a beeline for me, her eyes ablaze. I do, but I'm not going to tell you that in the middle of the classroom. She leans in toward me like she's about to grab me by the collar. Overwhelmed, the words die in my throat. I'm only talking very loudly.
いちご姉の言うことはもっともです。私たちは断片的な噂話しか聞いていません。
Ignition inserts herself between the two of them and turns to face me.
そうちゃん、エリカ先生が怪我をしたというのは本当ですか？やっぱり知って。静かに。入院したというのは。
Hospitalized. Vision from the previous night flood back and the blood drains from my face.
どうやら怪我をしたというのは本当みたいですね。どこでその話を？いちご姉が独自の情報網から得たのですよ。エリカ先生は大事をとって町へ降りてみてもらって。
I mean, to be fair, yes, they only have a school nurse, not someone who can actually take or look further into it, especially if it's a head injury. They do need to properly check whether it's a concussion or even worse. Yeah, just accidentally KO'd her. No! She would never do that. She hit her head hard in the fall, so of course she needs to be examined by a doctor, but... While she was in my arms, she never stirred or opened her eyes.
ねえ、どういうことなの？あの子、私に何も言わずこっそり抜け出して、 そして朝になったら怪我をして入院したとか。怪我をした時あなたが一緒にいたって本当なの？どうしてエリカは入院しなければいけなくなったの？
Oh, I mean, yeah, no, definitely. I'm not going to lie to her. I look into her searching, serious gaze.
昨日の夜図書室に一緒にいたというのは本当よ。やっぱり怒っちゃダメだってば。
She goes on her wits and Jesus Christ. You have a question about ethics? Shoot.
理由があって私はエリカさんに呼び出されたの。理由？エリカから呼び出したって。
I don't think you should steal it. But maybe a job at Sanrio would sound fun. Kasaki-san cocks her head, the wheels in her brain turning. Then her cheeks flush and she bites her lip, looking like she's just sucked on a lemon.
まさかエリカはあなたを。高崎さん、お願い。なぜ呼び出したかを言って。
The words seemed to pain her.
やっぱり本当はあなたが。そこまで。
A new voice cuts in and both of us jerk around to look at the speaker.
その先の言葉は聞きたくないわ。スオさんはそんなことをする人じゃない。高崎さんも分かっているはずよね。
Why isn't the pad working? I thought this earlier as well, but why isn't the pad working? Okay, here's your belated second pad from earlier that also didn't work, I'm sorry. Kurumi, I do like Kurumi as well. Very good character. Where'd my game go? Accidentally show Yukin there.
私も事実を知りたい。けれど、これじゃ吊るし上げだわ。
She looks around the room as she speaks. The other students avert their eyes from her gaze, ashamed to be caught eavesdropping. Realizing that she'd been paying no heed to her surroundings, Takasaki-san hangs her head.
私はエリカのアミティエよ。当事者に聞く権利があるわ。
That is not the problem. The problem is you're making this like an entire public spectacle for everyone to listen in on.
分かっているわ。
I don't think. You know, I don't think because I already thought. Mika-san agrees with her, but then she goes on.
私はスオさんのアミティエなの。スオさんの痛みは私の痛みだわ。
She's trying to protect me. Unbearable sadness surges up in me and breaks like waves of transparent water.
私のせいだ。
My chest aches and it's suddenly hard to breathe. I'm the one who's pitted Mika-san and Takasaki-san against one another.
分かった。でも一つだけ聞かせて。ねえ白羽さん、あなたはどうしてエリカと夜中の図書室なんかにいたの？それだけ教えて。それは。
If I tell the truth, I have to tell them that Irika-san wanted to meet with me because she realized that the incriminating letter had to have been sent by someone close to me.
答えて。
And if I tell them about the letter, it may bring to light Yatsushita-senpai and Komikado-senpai's involvement, so I can't.
私ね、頼み込んで養護教諭からどんな風に怪我をしたのか聞き出したの。エリカは車椅子から投げ出された拍子に頭を打ったと聞いたわ。ねえ白羽さん、答えて。まさかあなたが事故を起こしたわけではないわよね。
She stares haughtily at me as though irritated by my very presence. I can tell her. I can face her earnestness. All I can do is avert my gaze.
まさか本当にあなた
So
が。
for once in your fucking life, please open your mouth. At least tell her. I will tell you, but don't do this. No, you're going to make everyone think you were the one that caused Irika's. Even aside from the fact that, okay, making this an entire public spectacle and everyone else is going to put rumors into the world anyway. But like, at least just tell her to talk about this in private. Because now we're all going to be upset. And everyone will think Sue just goes fucking crazy. Punching people out of the wheelchairs. I don't know.
やめなさい。スオさんはそんな人じゃない。そんなことは言われなくたって分かっているわ。でも恋でなくとも事故だってことも考えられるでしょ。
Right. She's coming at us from the assumption that it was an accident, but right now,
その信頼が辛い。
my heart feels like it might break from pure frustration. Might it not be better to reveal the truth now, here in front of everyone? It suddenly occurs to me that I'm surrounded by my classmates, and I quickly cast my gaze around the room. Their eyes are all on me, but filled more with pity than suspicion. Every pair I meet turns away. Even as they avert their gazes, the buzz in the classroom grows louder.
ストップ。そこまで。憶測で決めたらダメだよ。
Finally fixed the broken deal. Oh, they did? Nice. That's good.
私は真実が知りたいだけだわ。真実だからこそ言えないことだってあるじゃん。どんなことよ。例えば二人ともに縁のある図書室へ呼び出してエリカがスオちゃんへ愛の告白をしたとか。そんなに睨まないでよ。今のは例えだけど言いづらいプライバシーに関わることだってあるでしょ。
Maybe not the best example here,
このお
too.
話はもうおしまい。
She's never been not smart, but this had to be one of the worst examples he could have chosen. She looks at Takasaki-san, then turns to look at the rest of the crowd. At last, the heightened mood starts to subside. But I know. A day alone, only that would be death. I don't need that line from the Addams Family to tell me how it feels. After that scene from this morning, my classmates are keeping their distance from me. Usually people would drop by to chat with me during lunch break, but today... Woo! We're reverting back to the beginning, except this time people think we're... aggressive? I don't know. In the beginning of the game, they just didn't call out to her and were afraid to, like, talk to her because she seemed so mature and higher than everyone else. As I eat my creamy pumpkin stew, I feel like a caged monkey at the zoo with a horrible skin disease. That sure is an example. Dirty looks, yet pitying at the same time. They make me want to be anywhere else but here. I spoon out mouthfuls of the tasteless stew as fast as I can. Just then, the twins sit themselves down opposite me as though to shield me from the stairs.
そうちゃん、かぼちゃのクリームシチュー選んだんだ。今日寒いし、私的にもそっちにすればよかったかな。いちご姉はポトフでしょ。あまり変わらないですよ。スープ系だってのは同じだけど、女子力はスオちゃんの方が上っぽいじゃん。
Ow. It's stew. What the fuck? Two of them chat away as though they haven't noticed the looks I'm getting. The boisterous chatter serves to ease the tension, however, and the glare softens somewhat.
ありがとう、いちごさん、りんごさん。ん？何が？それよりも早く食べないとシチュー冷めちゃうよ。冷めた料理ほどまずいものはないってエリカも言ってたじゃん。
Honestly, I don't think there's that much space. Like, I doubt they can just not sit at her table at all. Maybe like half of it? They could keep half. Even that seems like a waste of space already. Doing as I'm told, I scoop up another big spoonful of stew. The finely blended pumpkin forms a rich and creamy base.
美味しいわ。そんなに？それじゃあ一口私ももらおうかな。 これはバターと生クリームを使っているね。いちご姉は食通ぶって。
Watching Ichigo-san happily chow down makes me realize that I'm actually really hungry and I take another bite.
確かにバターと生クリームを使っている気がするわ。それと隠し味で蜂蜜を入れている気が。
So stunning.
だよね。ほのかな甘みがあるからそうかなと思ったけど、蜂蜜だったのか。ああ、そうじゃ。放っておくと食べられちゃうですよ。いいの。私はイチゴさんのを食べるから。
Leaning forward, I steal a spoonful of a... I do not know how to say that. The hint of clam stuck in the sauce reminds me of the minestrone soup I once prepared together with Mammy too. Canonically, so even wrote a song. Erika cheated, you could get over me cheating. Is it cheating if they're not actually dating? Are they? I'm a little confused actually on Chidori and Erika. Not because they're like not definitely both crushing it, like definitely Chidori on her, but it's like, are they? Are they not dating? Or is it just me who feels like it's hard to tell with these girls? The memory of happier times brings tears to my eyes. Clenching my fists, I blink rapidly to chase them away.
そうちゃん、いちごさん、りんごさんは私へ訳を聞かないの。
At my words, the twins look at one another and smile.
だってスオちゃんがそんなひどいことするわけないじゃん。ですです。語るまでもないってやつですよ。
I'm so grateful to them that the tears spring back to my eyes. When I whisper my thanks, they simply smile at me.
エリカ、早く良くなって帰ってくるといいね。
I nod along with her optimistic words, forcing down another mouthful of the suddenly salty soup. Erika suspected Chidori could be cheating on her with Sue. Chidori thought the same thing about Erika. It's so stupid. Sue still hung up on the girl she kind of got along with for like 3 weeks after they both realized the feelings for each other, and then suddenly ghosted her and everyone else. Definitely cheating on both of them at the same time with the other. Just saying. Tonight I have a strange dream. In the dream, I'm wearing my uniform from the academy. I perform a polite bow to the huge audience packed into the hall. Then I put my fingers to the keys of the piano, turn my eyes to the complex sheet music I've never seen before, and begin to play. Oh. I'm not nervous to be performing in front of so many people, but I'm not excited either. My fingers simply dance between the black and white keys, fluttering out butterflies. As I'm approaching the end of the first page of sheet music, pale fingers cut in front of me to turn the page. Beside me stands a tall, dark-haired woman. In the dream, I find myself more preoccupied with the girl than with the audience or the difficult music, because there was something familiar about the way she turned the page so precisely. I recall how my stepmother would rap my knuckles with a cane whenever I made a mistake, faint feelings slowly resurging. A silent audience, fingers moving with a will of their own, the tall girl assisting me with the endless piece. An evasive feeling, not fear but something else, grows within me. I feel like if I look, it'll all be over, like I catch a sight of something horrific. The music continues regardless of my will, the piece becoming more and more difficult as it progresses. I feel as though I'm on the verge of losing control, and I can tell that the girl is annoyed at me. My fingers are growing numb, unable to match the level of skill required of me.
失敗した。
I remember to myself having played the note that wasn't on the page. No, it wasn't me. I didn't speak. I'm frozen in place, my mouth as dry as a desert. Fearfully, I turn my gaze toward the girl standing beside me, and slowly, the tall, raven-haired woman turns her own hideous smile on me. She is me. Oh, wow. Good morning. A scream wrenches itself on my throat, and I cast my gaze around frantically. Seeing a familiar ceiling and familiar walls, I finally realized that I'm in my dorm room, and relief washes over me. My heart is still hammering loudly in my chest. I want to lie back and try to relax, but I'm too scared to close my eyes again. I don't want to see the rest of the dream. Taking several deep breaths, I look at the watch I keep beside my bed and see that it's 2:20 a.m. Now that I'm feeling calmer, I notice that my whole body is drenched in sweat. I want to change into something fresh, but I don't want to wake my Amitie partner. I sleep in the bunk beneath mine, so I stay where I am. The thought of waking Rika-san with my descent down the ladder and having her see me fills me with dread. You know what I actually find hilarious now that I look at the bed more closely? I do realize that this piece of wood is here to keep you from falling out of your bed, but it also means that you need to kind of get your legs over this and then try to dangle them towards the actual ladder and then try to step down, which you're probably going to do with like facing the bed and then going down, which just sounds like a not fun time at all. I assume they sleep with their heads here. At least I'm assuming that because there's no pillow or anything to see here and I cannot see over here. And I doubt anyone would like to sleep with their head here. Because that would mean every time you try to get out of bed, you need to, I don't know, put your knees all over your pillow and then step down and crawl across it every time you go up. Like I assume you would go up like this and then put your head down here. Oh, whatever. No one actually cares about that probably when they drew that bad. I'm disgusted to think that my face could twist itself into such an awful leer. Perhaps I'm slowly turning into the person I never wanted to be. A thought occurs to me in that early hour, silent as the grave. People step near you when you already lie in bed. Yeah! Yeah. Oh no. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. They're definitely sleeping with their hats here. That makes more sense. Hold on. Wait. There is a CG. There is a CG of Sue helping. No, of Mayuri helping Dika put on her clothes. Yeah, they definitely, they sleep like that. They do. In the first game, there's a CG where Mayuri helps Rika put on her clothes and they're both sitting towards this end. Because you can see the ladder on the right side, so they're sitting on this side. But no, actually, the bed looks a little different in that CG. They didn't really care about that, did they? No, it just looks big. Okay, no, it just looks bigger. My bad. I will stop commenting on the bed issue now. Okay. Thank you for the hydrate now. Perhaps I'm turning into her. Staring into my stepmother's resentful eyes as she peers over the bed at me, her bony fingers curled over the edge, I hug my knees to my chest and wait for day to break. Oh, that's a few more hours until day breaks. When I look into Takasaki-san's eyes, it feels like I'm looking into my stepmother's. Ichigo-san stands between us to talk to me, blocking her glare, but I still feel as depressed as ever. Even as Ichigo-san chatters happily, and Ingo-san joining in the conversation from the seat in front, I can still feel Takasaki-san's gaze boring into me accusingly from behind them. No, that's not all. It's not just the way that her eyes remind me of my stepmother's. I've been telling lie after lie and treating it as nothing, and I'm fast reaching my limit. All my lies are like a black river of sludge that keeps rising and is now about to burst its banks. There's nothing else for it, but I have to channel it somewhere. And where? During my introspection, Sister Basquiat has arrived in the classroom and now she addresses us all from in front of her desk. Ika-san stands up, performs the morning greeting, leads us in a prayer, and then returns to her seat. School day begins like any other. Sister Basquiat informs us that the harvesting will be difficult due to the unusual amount of snowfall. Then, as homeroom is drawing to a close,
そろそろ演劇会のことも決めなければいけませんね。
she announces.
ダリア先生、演劇会って何ですか？来月に行われる上級生の送別会に催されるものです。これは在校生1年生が学院を去る3年生を送るサージなのですよ。ねえ、そうちゃん、送別会って卒業式みたいなもの？卒業式はまた別であったと思うけれど。送別会は言うなれば卒業生を送る会ですね。佐々木さんの学校ではありませんでしたか？送る会、ありました。
Everyone laughs affectionately as Ichigo-san waves her hand in the air. Still, a farewell party. Having said that, I was only very recently reminded that I'm still in fact a child. It's easy to forget when everyone acts so mature. You see a reflection of the windows on the tables? Yeah! I do wonder how the background artist does the work. Because I'm hoping for their sake that they're actually using some 3D help here. Who is credited for the background stuff actually? Hold on. Okay, there's no one credited specifically for background stuff. We do have two people here for CG work. One for the CGs themselves, which is Hisui, who's also, well, who's the main artist for this entire game. Huh. I wonder. Tables all, well, they work just fine.
演劇会ですが、演目は決まっているのですか？私が指定しても良いのですが、何かやりたい演目はありますか？
Sister Basquiat asks the class. Another fairy tale, maybe? Everyone turns to their neighbors discussing ideas.
委員長である花火師さんは何か演じてみたい演目はあるかしら？私は
Just as she sends a look my way, Sister Basquiat smiles.
白羽さんはどうかしら？
It's gonna be a contemporary play.
私ですか？ごめんなさい、急だったかしら？
Sister Basquiat gives me an apologetic look and I shake my head, racking my brain for a good candidate. Fairy tale, but perhaps I would be too childish. Then...
現代劇とかはダメでしょうか？現代劇？
She parrots the word and a few my cheeks grow hot. It was the first thing that came to mind when trying to think of a more mature approach, but it's probably not appropriate for a leaving party. Before I can backpedal, Ichigo-san stands up from the seat in front of me, hand raised in the air.
現代劇ってラブロマンスとかだよね。だったら私がヒロインで主人公役はそうちゃんがいいな。いいよね、そうちゃん。
She declares to the class at large.
まだ決まっているわけじゃないから。でもそうちゃんが脚本を書くんでしょ？
Again?
毎回私が書くことに決まっているの？そうちゃん美人だから男装も似合うよ。ほら、髪の毛はポニーテールにしてさ。
Thinking of her, I shake my head.
どうしたの？気持ちは嬉しいけれど、もう少しよく考えてみるわ。
Under the expectant gazes of my classmates, I rack my brain again, thinking back on the performances we've done so far. The recitation, the ballet recital. I already discarded the idea, but now I revisit it. The fairy tales of Charles Perrault and the Brothers Grimm could be appreciated by the older student. Speak the name of the Grimm fairy tale that comes to mind. The Grimm fairy tale that doesn't actually... Yeah! Okay. That doesn't actually ring a bell for me, just by hearing its English name. I wonder what that one is. Hold on. Do I have it in my book? I do not. Okay, which one is that then?
そのグリム童話のマリアの子供はどうかなと思って。
It's a Catholic school. Anything with Mary in it could be good, right? Ichigo-san asks what it's about and I give a summary. Ichigo-san seems to think it a fitting play for a mission school like ours and suggests to Sister Basquiat that we consider it. Oh? A brief, almost imperceptible look of sadness flashes over her features.
その演目は以前やったことがあるの。別のものにしましょう。
Damn. While I feel that there was something strange about her reaction, it's not something I can bring up.
尋ねることでもないか。
Sister Basquiat lets the class chatter for a moment, watching benevolently over us as a mother might watch her children.
演目については宿題にしましょう。それと今日はもう一つ報告があります。
A murmur runs through the room. Sister Basquiat casts her gaze over a smiling Jean.
喜ばしい報告です。怪我をした八重垣さんですが、今日にも退院が決まり、学院に戻ってくることになりました。
Yay! She tells us. Yippee! I hesitate before I've even put my hand to the doorknob. When I at last do reach out for it, I pause again. I need time to screw up the courage to open the door in front of me.
どんな顔をして会えばいいの？
To me, Erika-san's injury was the worst thing that could have happened. The mysteries of the academy had gone to such lengths to keep hidden transformed themselves into the figures of Yuzuriya, Yatsushita, Nirin, and Komikado, and they hurt my friend. It's exactly what I was trying to avoid. I'm angry at myself, not because all those lengths I took were ultimately a waste of time, but because I allowed her to get hurt for my own pathetic sake.
スオさん。
Hi! Thank you. I am. Hope you're having fun co-working. Hearing a questioning voice behind me, I tightened my grip on the doorknob.
大丈夫。気にすることなんてないわ。
Oh, since when do we get reassuring words from our stepmother? Stepmother. She whispers into my ear and then I feel her bony fingers glide over mine. I don't look back at her, but I can tell that she's grinning. Bolstered by my best friend, I take a deep breath and step over the threshold. Pretty works in designer colors and he's sweet. Probably. I do assume that they're hopefully getting some 3D help for those backgrounds. Like, okay, maybe draw one of those stupid fucking tables and then just repeat it a few times. As soon as I step into the room, I see her. Hi! She's sitting up in bed chatting with Takasaki-san.
ああ、遅い到着だったな。見舞いに来てくれないかと思ったぜ。
A feline smile curls across Irika Yaigaki's lips as she addresses me.
エリカさん。
Oh.
おい。あ、ちょっと。ごめんなさい。私のせいで。バカだな。お前のせいなんかじゃない。
I feel her hand stroking my head, comforting me. I don't deserve it.
でも、あいつらのためにお前が泣く必要なんかないんだよ。ちょいと私がドジっちまっただけのことだ。ごめんなさい。もう謝るな。悪いと思ってるなら元気な顔を見せてくれ。
Her voice is soft and close in my ear. When I nod, she releases me from her embrace and I pull back to look her in the face.
なんだ、私よりひどい顔をしてるじゃないか。大丈夫なの？ああ、撃ったのが頭だったんで、大事を取って調べてもらっただけさ。で、
She laughs it off and I'm finally able to muster a small smile too.
使いなさい。涙。
It's only now that I realize I'm crying. I accept the handkerchief from Takasaki-san, breathing in the scent of peaches as I wipe my eyes.
別に。っていうか、さっきからなんで袖を掴んでるのよ。保険だよ。このプリンシパル様はすぐカッとなって殴り倒しに行くからな。殴るなんてしないわよ。さっきまで佐々木姉妹を前に息巻いてただろうが。あいつらも来てたぜ。委員長とお前が来る少し前に帰ったけどな。
She flashes Takasaki-san a snarky cat-like smile as the other girl shakes her hand off her sleeve.
それで、 本当に頭の方は大丈夫なの？
頭大丈夫とか失礼なやつだな。おい、
そういう意味じゃないわ。
頭に包帯でも巻いてりゃもっとチヤホヤされたかもしれないが、血が出たわけでもなかったからな。
でも頭を打ったんでしょ？血が出ない方が危ないって聞くわよ。
だから1日検査入院したんだよ。それにこれだけ口が回るんだ。もう安心だろ。
At least she's self-aware.
そうね。
The two of them smile genially at one another, but Takasaki-san is still tense. Now she tugs at Erika's sleeve, insisting that she finally offer an explanation.
真実が知りたいのか。
そうよ。
そうかい。ならサルトルを読め。答えはそこに書いてある。
Erika-san tries to evade with her usual banter, but Takasaki-san doesn't release her sleeve. Scratching her eyebrows, she stares intently at me and then at Takasaki-san.
白羽のせいじゃない。
分かってるわ、そんなこと。でも何があったのか、エリカの口から聞きたいの。
Erika-san scratches at her eyebrow again, then looks at the three of us in turn.
私が子供の頃。
茶化すのはよして。
真面目な話だよ。お前には以前少し話したことがあるが、親父との確執の話だ。
Next story. Erika-san rarely ever talks about her past. I wait with bated breath for her to go on.
誕生日と聞くと、まずはプレゼントを思い起こすだろうが、うちでの誕生日プレゼントは物じゃなく思い出を送るってのが通例だった。
Okay.
ぬいぐるみとかではなく？
そんな女っぽいもの一度ももらった覚えはないよ。例えば初めてキャンプに連れて行ってくれたり、海で波乗りを教えてくれたりとかさ。
楽しそうね。
2人の姉は普通に物がいいって言ってたけどな。で、ある時父が私の誕生日に野球観戦に連れて行ってくれることになったんだ。
そういえばエリカ野球好きだものね。
まあな。だから初めて球場に連れて行ってもらえて嬉しかったし興奮したよ。いいゲームで延長戦までも連れ込んで。
By the time we were heading home, it was pretty late, she continues, a faraway look in her eyes as she recalls the excitement of that day.
車で家へと帰る途中、親父とプレイについて話したりして盛り上がったよ。信号で止まるたび、親父は身振り手振りを交えて話してくれて。
Oh, did you get into an accident then?
信号待ちをしているその時、事故に遭ったんだ。
She strokes her legs under the sheets and we all listen in silence, knowing where this is going.
止まっているところを後ろから追突されたのさ。親父は無傷だったが、私は運悪くこうなっちまった。
Aww. Hi, Humpy. Thank you.
おっと、別に同情されたくて話したわけじゃない。過ぎたことだ。
Although her feline smile hasn't wavered, it seems to me like she's forcing herself to keep it in place. Or perhaps that's just my imagination.
お父さんが許せないのね。
Check in real quick, thank you. Hope you're doing fine.
いや。
でも確執って。
確執ってのは、互いに自分の意見を強く主張して譲らないこと。そのために生じる行き違いを言うんだよ。
それじゃあ。
あれは不運な事故だった。私は気にしちゃいなかったが、親父は自分を責めて、仕事ばかりであまり家に帰らなくなった。そして、たまに家に戻った時に私と会うと、悲しそうな顔をするんだよ。そんな顔を見たくないし、させたくない。だから私はこの学院に来ることを望んだんだ。
We say nothing as Iriga-san reveals her past, this part of herself that she most wanted to keep hidden. Silence descends upon the room, only the occasional noise from the snowstorm battering the window breaks.
私がこの話をしたのは、恋でないことについて恨む理由なんてない。不運ってのは誰の身にも起こりうるんだってことだ。白羽を夜中の図書室に呼び出したのは私だし、 怪我をしたのも今となってみれば不運だったからだ。
でも白羽さんを呼び出した理由は何？不運って何があったの？
呼び出した理由は言えない。だが不運の方は話すよ。私が怪我をしたのは八代譲り派と小帝ネリヌのせいだ。
Oh, okay, we're doing it. For a moment, confusion clouds Takasaki-san's features, but then her expression twists and she bears down on Erika-san.
茶化して楽しいの？
笑ってないだろ。
それはそうだけれど、本当なの？
どうせ私は12モンキーズだ。信じはしないだろうさ。
Cynical smile is so reminiscent of the girl we're talking about. The other two look to me in confusion. Their gaze is questioning. I nod.
あの夜、図書室に現れたのは八代譲り派と、まさか八代先輩と小帝先輩が学院へ戻ってきている。
おい、私の時は信じないのになんで白羽の時は信じるんだよ。
自分から12モンキーズだって言ってたでしょ。今までの自分の行動を
Would you
胸に
believe
手を
you?
当てて思い出してごらんなさい。
Erika-san shrugs. My Michi partner turns to me, asking whether it's true that the two upperclassmen were responsible for Erika-san's injury.
怪我をしたのは確かに2人のせいだけれど。
ま、逃げようとした八代譲り派を掴んで離さなかったってのもあるがね。
あの2人が信じられない。
人が変わったみたいだったよ。まるでシャイニングのジャック・トランスバリの変わりようだった。
They got rear-ended when they were at a red light. Yes, so actually it would be someone else's fault. Yeah, not paying attention. They were standing still at a red light. Someone else probably didn't hit the brakes right, or maybe the lights were changing, or they thought the lights were changing soon, so they already started their car and then. I assume, though, with the extent of the injuries caused and the fact that she's now paralyzed and can't use her legs anymore, it's more likely that someone else didn't brake properly and rammed into their car at a very high speed. Everyone is quiet. It's like they're ruminating on her words, trying to rationalize what's occurred. The two older girls left a big impression on all of us.
さて、私は正直に話した。打ち明け話までしたんだ。だから、白羽、お前も正直に話してもらうぜ。なぜあの二人が学院へ戻ってきているんだ？
それは。
I shake my head. I'm not intentionally hiding anything, but Erika-san ruffles her hair roughly in frustration.
それじゃあ、もう一つの質問だ。あの時、八代譲り派が言った。真実の女神に近づいてはならない。二階屋の会の会長だけの秘密っていうアガペのタルパについては。
タルパ？それって私たちが手伝っていた。手伝って？
Remembering that she was supposed to keep this a secret from Nika-san, Takasaki-san shuts up with a look like she's just bitten into a lemon.
エリカさんへ、みんなへ真実の女神に関わる話を言ってもいいのだろうか。
Yeah, so maybe you should start reaching out to your friends and getting them to help you, because fuck the whole noise about, ooh, no one else is supposed to know about this. Just... Revealing the information about the goddess of truth I've come across in my quest to get Mayuri back would mean getting them all involved in it. I don't care what happens to me, but my friends...
おい、バカにしてるのか？お前は自分の抱える事情に巻き込めないなんてめめしいことを考えているんだろうがな。
Tell her!
ここまで来て巻き込む巻き込まないもない。映画館でラスト10分で席を立つバカがいるか？そういうことだよ。
She jerks her chin toward Takasaki-san and Nika-san, who both smile at me.
私もエリカと同じ意見よ。ここまで来て何も知らされないなんて目覚めが悪いわ。
The only ones I feel like there would actually have to be just a little more careful about with are the Sasakis. Not because the Sasakis cannot keep secrets, but because they're so involved with many people in the school. I feel like they might accidentally let something slip or not know how to handle it when someone calls them out on what exactly they're doing. They don't mean it in a bad way ever, but
私はスオさんの力になりたい。その気持ちはずっと変わらない。
Nika-san clasped my hands, her words earnest. Fighting back the emotions welling up in me, I nod.
泣くことなんてない。私は何があってもスオさんの味方だから。
I realized the tears are running down my cheeks. I wipe them away, but more take their place. There's no stopping these emotions from flowing out of me. The black sludge that has caked up within me is washed away, leaving in its place only grateful joy.
ありがとう、リッカさん。
Aww. I decide there and then to tell my best friends all about what happened in spring and the events that began in summer. Finally! Ha! God damn! Hi! New stream time, yeah! It's yeah! 2 months before free 4070? What's special about the 4070? The tears of overwhelming gratitude finally stop and I haltingly begin my tale.
なぜ八代ゆずりはとコミカドネリネの2人が私の前に現れたのか。
I'm good. How are you doing? I'm only a little tired. Also, the placement of the flowers that are at Erika-san's side table are very, very fun to me because it looks like they could almost be my background. It's like, haha, I am in front of some flowers. You're very tired. Oh, me too, though. 3 p.m. That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what time it is. I feel it.
それは私がマユリを取り戻そうと決意したからなの。
Yeah. Flower. Both Erika-san and Takasaki-san already know this, but I never expressly told my amitié partner.
やっぱりそうだったの。
She murmurs, looking down at the ground.
ごめんなさい、リッカさん。いつか話さなくちゃいけないと思っていたけれど。
こいつも悪気があって黙っていたんじゃない。ただ物事にはタイミングってのがあってだな。
そうよ、ないがしろにしていたわけではないわ。
She blinks as the other 2 girls back me up.
もしかして気を使ってもらっているのかもしれないけれど私気にしてなんかいないわよ。
そうなのか。
なんというか今までのことが腑に落ちたので過去のこととかを思い返していただけよ。本当に？本当よ。私もスオさんはマユリを探すための準備をしているんだろうなって思っていたし。
I mean, Rika is also not down, and there is no way Suo would have gone out of her way to go for the presidency. Like, hello? Suo, who doesn't like talking, or who's... It's not that she dislikes talking to people, she's just not very well versed in it. So why would someone like that go out of their way to become student council president, basically? Like, nah.
そうなの。ええ。だって前に出るのが苦手なスオさんがニカイアの会の会長に立候補するだなんてマユリのことが絡んでいるとしか思えなかったもの。
Tears well up in my eyes once again as I realize that she's known all along. This time it's Rika-san who lends me a handkerchief to wipe them away. Fabric is impregnated with a comfortingly familiar citrus scent.
それでマユリを取り戻すってどういうこと？家に戻ってこいって言った家族の方と話をつけるとか？
I shake my head at her pragmatic suggestion, then tell her that at first I simply wanted a reason.
理由？何も言わずに消えてしまったことが信じられなかった。だから取り戻すということよりもわけ。
Rika-san nods. I continue on telling her how Erika-san had encouraged me when I felt hopeless.
やっぱりそうだったのね。収穫祭が終わった頃、 つきものが落ちたような顔をしていたものね。
She offers words of thanks to Irika-san, who scratches her head awkwardly. I watch the exchange affectionately.
訳を知るためにたくさんの人から話を聞いたわ。
I tell her how I first went to Sister Basquiat and how she wouldn't tell me anything except that it was a sudden decision. Then I explain how I moved on to the students close to Mayuri, particularly those in the art club.
まゆり美術部員だったものね。だから学院を去る前に何か部員の間にだけ話したことがないかを調べたの。
From them, I heard that she had painted several oil paintings. I explained how something about this tugged at my mind. I wonder whether there might be some kind of clue hidden in those
絵
paintings.
の中にヒントが。まゆりが何かを残して。
I nod and recount how I tried to get permission to see the paintings but was denied. Finding myself at a dead end, I...
呆れた。あのフックマン騒動はあなたが引き起こしたことだったの？
Yeah. That's why it's so funny that it came up again. Irika-san too blinks in surprise, reflexively fiddling with her braids. It's plain from Irika-san's gaze that this comes as no revelation to her though.
委員長にはないユーモアのセンスがある。
Irika-san moves the conversation on with some banter and I flash her a look of gratitude. Then I tell them about the 3 paintings I found upon sneaking into the art room, and about the words written on one of them.
天に行われるごとく。
The phrase was a message left to me by Mayuri. I explain how I went to a certain someone to ask about the meaning of those words.
その相手って八代ゆずりは先輩よ。
I tell them how we met in a chapel at night and that the words Mayuri left me were a plea for help. I'll tell them that there was another hookman. Then I explain how the incident in spring when Yatsushita senpai was hit in the head was no accident, but there was a culprit behind it.
そいつは本当なのか？
ええ、私はその八代ゆずりはを殴打した犯人がまゆりを害したもの、真実の女神だと思っているわ。真実の女神？彼女はこう言ったわ。この学院には神がいる。八代先輩から真実の女神の名前を聞いたの？
I recount how Yatsushita senpai told me that I was better off not knowing.
でもそんなことで引き下がるお前じゃない。
ええ、だから食い下がったわ。自分はどうなったっていい。真実の女神に返されようとも構わない。だから真実を教えてくださいって。
An awkward silence descends upon the room. Pausing in my faltering retelling of events, I lift my face to look around the group.
自分がどうなってもいいだなんて二度と言わないで。ええ。ねえスオさん、何度でも言うわ。私たちはスオさんのための盾になる。どんな火の粉からだって絶対に守ってみせるわ。
The words hit me in the gut. I feel tears in my eyes again for the upteenth time today.
恥ずかしいセリフは禁止だ。
素直じゃないわね。
いいか同文ってやつだよ。でだ、食い下がるお前に八代ゆずりはは条件を提示したんだろう。真実を知りたいのなら二階屋の会の会長を引き継げってな。
No. Nika-san's eyes widen and Takasaki-san grimaces.
取引を受け入れた私はまゆりのことを調べながら並行して二階屋の会の会長となるべく行動を始めた。そんな取引があったなんて。立花さんは何も言わずに私を支えると言って副会長に立候補してくれたわよね。アミティエとして当然のことだわ。
As she puffs her chest out proudly, Erika-san pulls a grossed-out face, then raises an eyebrow at me, urging me to continue.
前会長の提示した条件を満たした私は彼女へ真実を尋ねに行った。ところが
その言いざまだと。
I nod, but something must have caused her to reconsider because she summoned me to Iznik just before Christmas Mass.
八代先輩と小帝先輩が学院を去る当日ね。
And that was when she brought her lips to my ear and gave me what she'd promised.
高坂まゆりを求めるなら君は真実の女神に近づくことになる。女神にたどり着くための鍵はアガペのタルパ。アガペ、神学でいうところの普及の愛。 私たちが探してきたな。彼女はこう続けました。アガペのタルパは失われた始まりの七不思議だ。
始まりの七不思議。
Everyone felt silent, perhaps feeling the same sensation of nails scratching at their insides that I felt upon first hearing that name. It was a sensation of encountering something long missed, something so repulsive you never want to see it again. Yeah, it's not much of a transaction, because the one who gave it did not actually think she could complete it whatsoever.
この名はニカイアの会の会長だけが受け継いできた名だと。そしてこう続けたの。知っているかい、スオ君。マリア像の足元はね、蛇を踏みつけているんだ。蛇はタルパはマリア様が踏みつけている蛇だと思え。僕は先代からそう教えてもらった。
Yeah, that's not at all
タル
weird.
パは蛇。その話でいくと、蛇は害するもののメタファーのようにも感じるわ。
委員長はヘビイコールアガペのタルパで、それが真実の女神であると。
そうは断言できないけれど、感触というか。スオさんはアガペのタルパをどう捉えているの？
A plant that offers protection from snakes.
正直まだ確定的なことは言えないわ。まだ確かなことは何も掴んでいないのだから。
But there's one thing that randomly popped into my mind.
祖父が以前教えてくれた。ある植物は蛇や毒を持った悪しき生き物を避けるお守り代わりになるって。その植物ってカタバミよ。カタバミって寮長のこと？
カタバミはフランスやスペインでハレルヤとも呼ばれている。訳すると主を褒めたたえよ。だが
Good thing that everyone involved in this series has some random knowledge that you would truly not find anywhere else. But put four of these guys into a room and suddenly you will have the answers to anything and everything you might think of. Who knows this? Irika-san's looks remind me that this is nothing more than conjecture.
ごめんなさい。ちゃんとした答えが出なくて。でもカタバミ寮長の名字にそんな意味がね。天の計らいは不思議ね。
The Lord works in mysterious ways. Something about Rika-san's word niggles. I hate that word. Something important.
いや、まだ決める時ではない。固定観念は考えを狭めてしまうわ。
しかしアガペのタルパか。始まりの七不思議だって話だが違和感があるの。
どうして？
以前話した気もするが、タルパはチベットの精神修行の際に起きるとされる現象の一つだ。ミッションスクールには沿道。
It wasn't always a mission school though.
確かにそうね。
白羽はどう考えてるんだ？
年間のアガペのタルパが載っていたとされるページだけが破かれていたし。
In the back of my mind, I hear the words of the ex-president on the day I took over the presidency. Their name's written here.
だから確かなことは言えないけれど。
The streamers and chats random very specific knowledge. I agree with her that something feels off.
真実の女神に至る鍵としてアガペのタルパの名を教えてくれた後でこうも言った。
それじゃあ誰かに襲われた？
明言はしなかったけれど。そして
It's hard for me to say this with her staring at me so dubiously.
八代ゆずりはもう一つの鍵を私へ渡してくれた。それは一枚のメモ帳に彼女自身が書き込んでくれた場所よ。
In response to the questioning looks, I go on to tell them that I found a place in a note out in the forest away from the academy without revealing its exact location.
彼女が教えてくれた場所はずいぶん前に焼き落ちてしまった聖堂跡だった。
We will be saving. Thank you.
ちょっと待て。 この学院の聖堂以外にそんなものが。
ええ、学院の位置と規模を考えて焼け落ちた聖堂は補佐的な、もしくは何か重要な祭事にだけ使われるものだったんじゃないかしら。でも焼け落ちた聖堂が鍵だなんて全く意味がわからないわ。
Hmm? Oh no. Oh no, my phone charger's cable is broken. No, please. Please, just do what you have to. No! Oh, god damn. Hold on a second. Why are you not charging? Please. Yep. Nope. That cable is done for. Good. Great. Let's try a different one then. Because if this phone can't charge, we will not be having a newer moving anytime soon. Where is it? I hate my life. The charging cable, extreme. Where is? Oh my god. Okay, let's see. Let's try this one. Yeah. Okay. This one looks like it's charging. Oh, that's unfortunate. That means I have to go look into getting another cable. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. Back to the game.
火事を引き起こした者が真実の女神とか。
I hadn't thought of that. When I fell silent in contemplation, I hear muttered, "Are you serious?" from Irika-san.
違うわ。もしかしたらと可能性を考えていただけよ。
なんだ、それじゃあそっちも不発ってわけか。
She directs a feline smile at me, and for a second I wonder whether I should tell them about the grave I found outside the chapel and the name carved on the tombstone.
バスケア教諭を敬愛しているエリカさんにどうやって。
火事にあった聖堂以外で収穫があったようだな。
え？
気づいてないだろうが顔に出てる。隠そうとするときは眉間にシワが寄るんだ。
I rub the furrow between my eyebrows and her lips curl further into a crescent moon.
やっぱりエリカさんにはかなわないわ。
プロの嘘つきだからな。で、何を見つけたんだ？
Despite my hesitancy, I knew in the moment I decided to tell them about my quest for Mayuri that I would have to relate this to. No, it's just because it's a pretty long scene actually featuring Erika, we're getting more feline. We only get feline or cat-like smile. They don't have any other ways to call her smiles. And there's an emphasis on her smiles all the time. That's why it always seems like it's a lot.
旧聖堂を調べていて、渡されたメモ帳の印をつけていた箇所が気になったの。燃えた旧聖堂から離れた場所にチェックを入れてることに。
それで
私は旧聖堂を抜け、印のあった場所へと向かった。そこには庭とこの木に隠されるように、そこに書かれていた名前はシオン・バスキア。
After I speak the name, a tense silence descends upon the room. The only noise comes from the wind scrabbling at the window pane like an old rabid dog trying to get in.
シオン・バスキアだと。
She repeats the name in a creaking voice, then bites down on her lip in a gesture quite unlike her. Perhaps her thoughts have led her to the worst conclusion.
エリカさん。
シオン・バスキア。八代先輩が示した鍵ってことは。
その先は聞きたくない。
Faced with Irika-san's pained expression, even Takasaki-san can't bring herself to say any more. Her suspicions clearly point to Sister Dahlia, who shares the same surname. I'm certain she knows something, but...
もしバスキア教諭にシオン・バスキアのことを尋ねる時が来たら、私にさせてくれ。
I can't refuse my friend's plea. I nod, hesitant but firm, aware that this is the best option.
シオン・バスキアはともかくアガペのタルパ。私にはそれが鍵だと言われても意味がわからないわ。
今までその2つに由来するものから追っていたけれど、手詰まりになってしまっていたの。今のところの手がかりは2人へ頼んだ文献だけ。
そう。
Silence stretches out again, piling up like the snow outside to muffle any potential sound. It's so quiet I almost suspect that if I strained my ears, I'd be able to hear the others breathing.
そういえば花火師さんは今のお話を聞いて何かひらめいたことは。
She stops, the rest of the word hanging unspoken in the air. I raise my face from where I've been staring a hole into my shoes.
リッカさん。
When I take Takasaki-san's gaze, I see Mami Chie-partner frozen as still as a statue.
おい、どうした？
虫。
違うわ。
While that reassures me she's still frozen, I'm reaching up my hand toward her when she speaks.
私シオン・バスキアのことを知っているわ。今聞いたからでしょ。
Mami Chie-partner looks from Takasaki-san to Irika-san and then to me, as though searching our faces for some kind of sign.
スオさんのお話を聞くずっと前から彼女シオン・バスキアのことを知っていたの。
Yeah, it's gonna be the girl she keeps reading about. You know those scenes whenever I was like, why are we switching over to Rika-san? And it's just some letters she kept reading. It's gonna be her. Either written by her or written about her, I don't know. She tells a stunned room. Because they try to mislead us. They try to mislead us by... Relationship, I think, is like a shark, you know? It has to constantly move forward or it dies. A line from the movie Any Hall left a strong impression on me. That's very nice too, but I like to finish my sentence. They kept showing it to us, and I think they initially tried to confuse us by making the story and the artwork they kept showing us look and be just Mayuri and Sue, and so you think, okay, she's just thinking about Mayuri and Sue. But then the story starts to be different. And it's like, that's not actually what happened with Mayuri and Sue, so it has to be someone else. Especially the last one we read about with the whole, oh, I never could talk to her again, blah blah blah. I'm like, Ika-san, Erika-san, Takasaki-san, and me, the four of us slip out of the dormitories, impatient and anxious as maidens sneaking out for rendezvous with their lovers. It's not quite the middle of the night, and the still rising moon looks down on us, bathing us in a cold, eerie white light. Hello? 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 You're not the moon. You're not the moon. Baby. 잘하니쇼. 그래요? Okay, the cat is unsure whether he wants to actually jump on the bed or not. I guess so far he's choosing to stay on the ground. Shining through the clear winter sky, the bright light glances off the snow-covered ground. A biting cold slices through our many layers of clothes.
さっさと行こうぜ。風邪をひいちまうよ。
Nodding my agreement, I start to lead us down the same route I used when I pretended to be the Green Hawkman. After you follow the path for a while, it cuts through the forest. And brings you to the corridor that connects to the club building. That's not our final destination, however. Oh hell yeah. If they do catch us, we're all going to be in trouble.
風がないだけでも全然違うわね。寒いはずなのに暖かく感じるわ。
おい。
何？
鍵を開けてくれた功労者にねぎらいの言葉はないのか。
エリカさん、いつもありがとう。
I thank her for yet again putting her lockpicking skills to use to open the door at the rear of the academy. Erika-san puffs out her chest proudly, telling Hermione that such acknowledgement is important.
すごい！やっぱり夜の学校って雰囲気あるわね。今にも幽霊が出てくるみたい。
Don't say that.
聞いてねえし。ま、怪談物で夜の学校なんて定番中の定番だものな。怖い話好きの白羽からしたらたまらないシチュエーションだよな。
I half expect to see the twins from The Shining pop out. I look down the corridor into the impenetrable darkness ahead.
シャイニングの双子の幽霊が出てきそうだものね。
I murmured. Very light
そうよ
crime.
ね。みんなで深夜の学校探検ができると思ってなかったか
I
ら
mean, to be
嬉しい
fair,
わ。
wouldn't she be able to get the keys to this building, technically? Like, she is the council president.
声を抑えろ。委員長が怒って。
Ika-san is staring down at the ground in silence, realizing that I shouldn't be joking around, especially considering what we're about to do. I go over to her and tell her I'm sorry. Suddenly, Ika-san throws her arms around me and I let out a squeal. I quickly cast a look around, but I don't see any shadowy figures lurking in the dark.
別に怖い話が苦手なわけじゃないけれど。スオさん、手が冷たいわ。冷えないように手をつないでいきましょう。
All I can do is nod. I've memorized the times the teachers make the patrol, so I know that we don't have time to lose.
では、早く向かいましょう。
Yeah, it's very light crime because technically she could be getting the keys during the day, but during the night, no, not so much. The others nod and we move as a group toward the place where Mami Tea partner learned of Shiro and Basquiat. The heavy darkness has heightened my other senses. A sound from behind makes me look back, and everyone looks curiously in the same direction. It's a shelf with the disgusting butterfly specimens. Here we are. This is the room that Rika Hanabishi, my precious amitié partner, told us was where she learned of Shion Basquiat. Shion Basquiat was a woman. Originally, I simply made the assumption that Shion Basquiat was Sister Basquiat's adopted father. Now, a clearer picture of the person behind the name is emerging.
標本室烏森みどり教諭
The teacher who once sought to use the 7 mysteries, to use Bloody Mary to frame Nilina Komikado out of a misplaced sense of love.
私がこの標本室でシオン・バスキアを知ったのは
With that, she goes over to the shelf of specimens and moves a dried butterfly to the side. Oh.
これが花火師さんが話していた
シオン・バスキアのことが書かれている。
Seeing the letters sealed in specimen drawers, I now understand how Yatsushiro Senpai was able to find a way to the goddess of truth.
おそらく八代譲り葉は烏森みどり教諭を調べていく過程でこの標本品を見つけた
With a practiced hand, Dika-san picks up a jar, unstoppers it, and pulls out a rolled up sheet of paper.
始まりの手紙よ手紙を標本にしてずっと思いをとどめておきたかったのね傷つけないように丁寧に読んであげて
ええ私が欲したものは決して手に入らない
The opening line of the letter almost makes me cry out. They are the very same words I've spoken to myself. I felt that same feeling so strongly when I lost Mayuri. I've been tortured by it since long before even then.
手紙の書き手がシオン・バスキア
The penmanship has a distinct feminine flair. To think that what I'm holding in my hands was written by a girl who grappled with the exact same feelings as me. My vision narrows, honing in on the page. My eyes track the delicate letters. The letter describes Shion Basquiat's emotions as she first arrived at St. Angrecum Academy. She tells of the anxiety she felt, wondering whether she would fit in, her worries about living in a dormitory, even though she was resolved to put her family situation behind her.
私と同じだ
And then, the meeting beneath the cherry trees washed away all her fears like a receding wave. The girl's long black hair, her pale skin, the way the moonlight shone on her perfect statuesque features, all of it seemed so unreal to her. The girl's name was...
貴船さゆり
Aha! A new name! My emotions are thrown into turmoil. Wasn't the first meeting an exact replica of mine and Mayuri's? There in the clean, quiet specimen room where time may as well have stopped, I feel as though I've slipped into a fairy tale.
どうした？
Having finished reading, I tell Erika-san that it's nothing and pass her the first letter. Then I pick up the second letter. The second letter details her relationship with Sayuri Kifune. Her wish came true, and they were assigned to each other as amitié partners. She talks about how Sayuri enthusiastically tutored her in her weakest subjects. How when they paired up for orienteering, Sayuri went out of her way to help her after her own foolish pride led to a sprained ankle. That incident created a bond of friendship between them, and soon Sayuri, who was an adept ballet dancer, began giving Shion dance lessons. With each strange coincidence, I feel more and more untethered from reality. These are all the things I experienced with Mayuri. And then...
シオン・バスキアは貴船さゆりに惹かれていた
enthusiastically tortured When she writes of her bewilderment and her growing feelings for her amitié partner, my chest grows tight. The thing I want, I will never have. That opening line fills me with anxiety. I can imagine where this is leading. I pick up the last specimen jar and start to read the letter it contains. Sensing something different about the choice of words in synthetic rhythm, I glance down to check the name signed at the bottom.
最後の手紙は貴船さゆりが書いたものだわ
What does this mean? The other letters were all written by Shion Basquiat to her amitié partner Sayuri. Only those final letters written by Sayuri herself. Why? A particularly ominous feeling surfaces from the tumult of emotion I'm experiencing. I continue reading.
すいません
The name of that event is taboo to me now. I bite my lip as the name sinks into me like cold sludge. Then, shaking my head to rid myself of my reaction, I return my eyes to the letter. The letter tells how Sayuri wasn't chosen to play Mary at the feast. The role went to Shion Basquiat, and that led to the first little tear in the seams of their relationship. The fact that Shion Basquiat was chosen over Sayuri, class president and number 1 in terms of grades, had the whole class unsettled. At first she admonished her classmates for the gossip, but she goes on to admit that she wasn't too pleased herself. Eventually she snapped over something trivial and hurtful words were exchanged. She was always confident in her ballet skills, but in her quest for perfection she failed the exam. Shion passed with flying colors and saw the gulf between them widen. Her writing now wavers as though the hand that committed it to the page was shaking. Her regret is palpable. I knew how hard she'd worked for it, so I wasn't upset, but I realized then that we had grown too close. Because of our closeness, I couldn't stand to see those subtle cracks, and I suppose those little tears looked like something else at such close range. I don't expect forgiveness from my amitié. After all, I was the one who first reached out my hand to her, yet now there I was, pulling out of her grip. Tears spring to my eyes. I can feel Sayuri's pain as she relates how she desperately wanted to make up. The letter ends with several scrawled lines. Of course I should have faced up to her. I should have apologized and made things right. But because of my own willful stubbornness, my amitié is gone and I will never see her again. Rest in peace, my beloved Shion. When I finish reading the final letter, I'm left in a daze. All that remains within me is a sense of incomparable grief and contrition. I feel as though Sayuri's soul is working through me to give form to her regrets. I've been so thoroughly absorbed in the story that when Rika-san offers me her handkerchief, it takes me a few long moments to recognize it. Thanking her, I take the cloth and wipe my tears. She tells me that she cried when she first read the letters too. My amitié partner's words reverberate around the room, sunk into a silence as deep as the ocean. Just like she says, it feels as though Mayuri, Rika and I, it feels as though we were led here to St. Angrecum Academy like moths to a flame.
確かに類似点が多すぎる。まるで予言の書みたいだ。
Irika-san murmurs, having read the letters after me. Takasaki-san finishes reading the last page too and wipes at the corners of her eyes.
だが、聖母祭の下りだけ違う。
She's just like me, for real, for real.
この手紙だと、
The
委員
tears,
長だっ
the
た岐
tears
阜根
though.
さゆりが選ばれずに、
She's just
シオン・バスキアが選ばれ、そこから関係が悪化したとあるが。
But in our case, it was the press who was jealous, not Mayuri, she says. I look at Rika-san shrinking in on herself as she takes back her handkerchief.
意地悪はよして。
Hi, Raiders, welcome in! Hello, hello! You were arting today. I saw you were drawing Alba. At least earlier you were drawing Alba. I did not know if you were drawing Alba until the end, but I hope you had a fun stream. I'm new, I like the color pink vision of his JRPGs. We're currently playing Flowers. With a subtitle that is in French, so I cannot pronounce it, but it's the last one in the series. Welcome, welcome! Pikachu for the Raiders, of course! Pikachu! Pika! Pikachu! I hope you had a fun stream, welcome! Yes, Alba time noise. I make my tone firm.
悪い。ま、この時はミテイは二人組だから違いが出るのは当たり前なのか。
She's right. Until our year, the amitié partner system always put girls together in pairs, which meant that if there was a falling out,
苦しい思いはしたけれど、3人で組めてよかったのかもしれない。
It's getting to 6 a.m. Oh god, yeah, definitely. Get some rest. Thank you so much for coming by. Have a good night. Also, thank you for the follow. And get get some work done. Thank you for the lurk and the fan.
悲しいお話ね。
Oh, thank you. Takasaki-san whispers, wiping at her own tears after reading the letters. And thank you for the follow. Welcome in, welcome in. For a while, we're all quiet. It's as though we're sending up a silent prayer for the tragic events of the past. The silence settles over me like a fine covering of dust.
最後の貴船さゆりが書いた手紙だが、結びの言葉からするとシオンバスキアは亡くなっているみたいだな。
I think of her name carved into the headstone at the old chapel. Here lies a little flower, pure and holy.
しかし、いつ頃の話かわからないが、すでにこの自分には真実の女神の話はあったのか。
どういうこと？
聖母役に選ばれたから神の身元、真実の女神のもとへ旅立ったと考えられるだろう。
At those words, a chill creeps down my spine. I run my eyes over the final letter, the one left by Sayuri Kifune, again.
真実の女神のことは書かれていない。
Wouldn't it be more likely that this is the beginning of the Goddess of Truth thing? She writes only that Shion has gone someplace where she'll never see her again. There's no explicit mention of that. I feel as though the truth is right in front of me, but I still can't quite grasp it. The frustration almost has me biting my nails. Anyway, she was feeling particularly gloomy and spacing out for a while. Yeah! Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, we as the player, we saw that happen. Because we kept getting her point of view of reading those letters. Except they do try to misdirect you by making you think, oh, okay, it's some kind of letter about the situation between Sue and Mayuri because they're so similar. But no, actually, it's someone else's experience.
おじいちゃんにやめなさいって言われていたわね。
Some loud voice catches me like a slap across the cheek. Although we know we're alone in the building, both Irika-san and I cast our gazes around the area.
ちょっと、まだ見回りの時間じゃないからって大きな声出しすぎよ。
珍しくこいつの言う通りだ。何をそんなに慌ててるんだ。
Nika-san, the source of the sudden cry, dashes back over to us from the shelf where the letters were hidden, clutching a specimen jar in her hand.
まさか、まだ手紙が。
違うの、もっとすごいものよ。
Oh. The jar in her hand is empty. With her other hand, she trusts a photo before us. The colors are faded. It must be old. Oh, a picture of her. Yeah, come on. Oh. The photo is of a girl holding a flower, and the girl is... What's she doing here? No, it can't be.
この写真の裏を見て。
That's not her. Dumbfounded, I do as she says and flip the photo over. There on the back is an inscription. Irreplaceable memories with Shion. Which means that...
この少女がシオンバスキア。
マジかよ。高坂真由里とそっくりじゃねえか。
この写真の子、高坂さんって人
Yet
と
she
似
really
てい
wouldn't
る
know
の？
she never met her.
そっくりなんてものじゃないわ。双子かって思うほどよ。
Willing my hands to stop trembling, I look again at the image on the front. The girl who looks like Mayuri is gazing into the camera with a bashful smile. I look for differences between her and Mayuri, but there are barely any to be found. The only differences I spot are that this girl looks ever so slightly older, and she isn't wearing the hair clip Mayuri always wore.
こいつは因縁めいてきやがったぜ。
まさか死にきれなかったシオンバスキアが高坂さんに姿を変えて現れたってこと？
No, what?
真面目な話をしているときにオカルトめいた話をするなと言いたいところだが。
My ears are ringing. As though the air has suddenly grown thinner, my friends' voices sound like meaningless noise. The only things I'm aware of are myself and the girl in the picture. This girl, Shion Basquiat, who's the spitting image of Mayuri. My inner cosmos seems to expand outward into infinity, then contract inward until it's in danger of disappearing altogether. Then, something at the core of me splinters and breaks off, settling at the very bottom. And a fade to black. Okay. Unsure what to do with this information.
こんな蔵書があったなんて。
When the council meeting ended, I asked Ika-san to stay behind.
伊豆ににこんなからくりが。これも二階屋の会の会長だけが教えてもらえることだったの？
いいえ、この文献を見つけたのはたまたまなの。 初めて見つけた時は埃が積もっていたから、八代譲り派前会長も知らなかったんじゃないかしら。
I decided to share all the information I have with my métier partner.
これを部屋に持って行って一から調べるってことね。
一部はエリカさんの部屋に運んでいたけれど。
She opens her mouth, about to ask me why, before realizing that I've been keeping it a secret from her specifically. Her brow furrows.
ごめんなさい。
いいのよ。私だって標本室で見つけた手紙のことを黙っていたんだもの。
Unfortunately, those words are no comfort to me. I still haven't told Dika-san or any of the others the most important part of all this.
まゆり。
We know for a fact that Mayuri is still somewhere close enough to the school that she can't just go to the building in the middle of the night, so like... It's not like she's actually gone home. I haven't told a soul about my meetings with her. After all, revealing that much would not be without consequence. It probably wouldn't be enough to sever the bonds between us.
なぜだか口にできない。
It feels as though at the moment I mention our encounters, Mayuri will disappear forever. As though even the reality of my speaking with her through the art room while in the dark of the night will vanish into nothingness.
結構量があるわね。これ全部目を通すのは骨だわ。
ええ。だから流し読みをして、シオンバスキアとアガペのタルパの記述が出ているところがないか、まずそこから始めているの。
Just casually camping nearby in the middle of winter, and someone keeps providing her with the newest school outfit?
確かにきちんと読んでたら新学期が始まってしまいそうだものね。
After pulling down all the volumes from the hidden bookshelf and stacking them up on the desk, Dika-san warily surveys the pile. A pile of 100 books is always a sight to make my heart sing, but unfortunately I can't devote much time to these ones.
別に誰にせかされているわけでもないのだけどね。
え？何？
Telling her it's nothing, I start to brush the dust from the piles of books. Until now, I've only bothered to clean the ones I've taken with me, wiping them down with a wrung-out rag.
リッカさん、綺麗好きだものね。
Time passes as we focus on ridding the books of years' worth of dust. It's too much. Silence fills the space between us like a void. It's not an awkward silence, though. It's an intimate silence that drapes comfortably over us like the clouds of dust that billow up and settle on our shoulders. We've both always liked simple, repetitive tasks like this. First, we hold each book upside down and flip through the pages from beginning to end, freeing the dust and detritus from inside. Then, taking care not to damage the ancient tomes, we use a feather duster followed by a damp rag to gently and carefully wipe away any stubborn remaining dust. To finish up, we take 2 cloths and wipe down the front and back of each volume to rid them of any final traces of dampness and dirt. As we proceed with our task in silence, I feel like I've become a character in a fairy tale, given a set role to perform for all of eternity.
八代先輩が八代先輩がシオンさんを知ったのはどうしてなのかしら。文献の話を聞いたとき、そこから得たのかと思ったけれど。
She gazes at the dusty tomes.
どうやらこの文献の存在は気づいていないみたいだし。
I don't pause in my work as I answer her.
それはリッカさんが見つけた標本瓶を八代前会長も見つけたからだと思うわ。
Leaving out only the parts that might besmirch their reputations, I explain how Yatsushida-senpai was driven to investigate the specimen room in Miss Karasumori in order to protect Kumikado-senpai.
そんなことがあったのね。
Still no reason to make our life harder now, though. ええ、彼女は真実の女神に至る鍵を2つ与えてくれた。一つは旧聖堂を抜けた地にあるシオンバスキアのお墓。そして2つ目はアガペのタルパ。
私も読み解いていくほどに驚いたのだけれど、シオンさんとアミティエの関係、物語はスオーさんとマユリとによく似ている。最後、聖母祭の後に消えてしまったことも。
Finished with our work, we gaze at the neat piles of ancient but now clean books. I'm reminded of a slowly crumbling grave, of Shion Basquiat's grave. No, the grave was...
ごめんなさい。シオンさんのように亡くなったなんて考えてないわよ。ただ、鍵だって言うけれど、 どんな意味があるのかって。
意味。
Surely learning about Shiro and Basquiat and the Toba of Agape will bring the outline of the mystery into focus. At least that's what I previously thought, but they may just be pointing us in the right direction. Pointing us toward... The sudden sound of the door opening makes me jump about a foot in the air.
兵隊が応援に駆けつけたぜ。
Oh Jesus.
ノックくらいしなさいよ。
For real? Like...
ドアを開く音が突撃ラッパ代わりだよ。
Eating Irika-san and Takasaki-san's amicable bickering, I smile.
ってもう終わったみたいだな。
でもちょうどいいところに来たわ。
そうなの？
本を私たちの部屋へ運びたいのだけど人手が足りなかったの。
お、それなら私の膝の上が空いてるぜ。
I smile at Irika-san as she pats her thighs, yet I can't shake the feeling that I'm overlooking something important. At last, I'm free to read through the old books in my own room. I can now give them the time and focus they deserve. That is, until the door suddenly flies open in a repeat of what happened back in Iznik. Uh-huh.
急にどうしたの？
Sorry, I just kicked the door open.
友達が遊びに来ただけじゃん。
Could you people just knock? Anyone? Does anyone in this whole entire fucking school ever knock?
です。
違うわ。こんな遅い時間にどうしたのかってことよ。
While they're distracted by Rika-san's jabbing a finger toward the clock, I surreptitiously slipped the book I was reading into my desk drawer.
そいつは私が答えるとしよう。
Oh! Irika's always at the scene of the crime. The twins crowd into the room, followed by Takasaki-san pushing Irika-san in her chair.
最近深夜のお茶会ってやつをやってなかっただろ。だから久しぶりにどうかと思って、ね。
Oh!
エリカさんは参加したことなかったじゃない。
Exactly, she says with a cat-like smile. Takasaki-san's cheeks flush slightly.
私も一度くらいしてみたかったんだけれど、ダメかしら。
She asks us.
でも私たちは二階屋の会の会長と副会長だし、みんなの規範にならないと。
Okay, how about setting the example of if you're going to do something that's against the rules, make it so you don't get caught. Boom.
そう。お茶会で花火師さんの紅茶が飲めるのを楽しみにしていたのに。
That's all it takes. Not that I have any objections to the idea myself, of course.
最近は気が張り詰めることばかりだったから、たまにはいいと思うわ。
スオさんがそういうのなら。
話は決まったということで。
From behind the backs, Ichigo-san and Ringo-san produce their night dresses.
深夜のお茶会 in パジャマパーティーを始めるよ。
Oh! We're not trying to poison anyone at this midnight tea party. The pajama tea party progresses as one might expect. We turn the heating up a couple of degrees and change into our night dresses. Ika-san serves us her special tea while we chow down on cookies baked by the twins. Gossip-loving Ichigo-san brings up a topic, and Irika-san, ever opinionated, gives her view. Takasaki-san, who tends to look at things from a different angle from the rest of us, chimes in with a starting comment, surprising us all. Feels like forever since I've engaged in such whimsical conversation, which makes me enjoy this time all the more. However, looking back, I suppose it was inevitable, with both Ringo-san and Takasaki-san here. Due to their influence, the night is soon headed in quite a different direction to the quaint tea party my amitié partner and I envision. You say you've seen Mairi, I don't remember it happening yet. We have met her while we were in the old building in the middle of the night in the art room, and we heard her talk on the other side of the wall. Someday the quote board will give us more variety, and also sometimes the quote board gives us the. I don't even remember that.
なんで でお茶会が怪談大会になるの
Yay,
よ。
ghost stories! Let me cheat partner well till she clings to my arm. I can't disagree with her, and yet...
季節外れとはいえ、みんなで怖い話って憧れの一つだわ。
Why would you sit on the floor? At least go sit on a cushion. The floor is going to be so cold even if you turn up the heating. We've entertained one another with tales of the supernatural before, but never altogether like this. Honestly, I'm thrilled.
千鳥がどうしてもって頼んだからだよ、リッチ。否定はしないけれど、やろうって言ったのはリンゴもよね。私ばかり先輩扱いはひどいわ。
She doesn't look at all put out. In fact, she's grinning.
で、私の話は終わったけれど、次は誰にする？エリカとか
？3度目の当番かよ。残ってるストックは委員長にはきつめのやつしかないからな。佐々木姉はどうよ？
I mean, unless they're going to give us some other character who's also voiced by the same person Mayuri was voiced by, I'm going to go with it's Mayuri because it's the same fucking voice actress. But what do I know?
体験談ってなるとあんまりないんだよね。前に話した逆さの人形の話とかは？
あれはダメだ。委員長が眠れなくなる。
そんな怖い話があるの？
Fingers clutch my arm tighter. While I do feel bad for her, I'm also pleased that she's come to me for
み
protection.
んなだいたい2巡目を話したわよね。まだ話していないのは。
I expect everyone to look to Ringo-san, who's only told one so far, and Dika-san, who's naturally too afraid to join in. But instead, their gazes converge on me. For my first story, I told one about a hospital that I heard from my grandfather. This
体
time...
験談を話すのよね。
別にそうだって決まっちゃいないが、ま、その方が盛り上がるかな。
That settles it.
それじゃあ、以前私自身が体験したことを話すわ。
Digging back through my memories, I start to tell the ghastly
これ
tale.
は夢の話なんだけれど。スオちゃんも夢の話か。ええ、以前に経験した夢とも現実ともつかないお話なんだけれど。
I set the scene. My mother was in hospital, so it was just me and my father at home.
白羽さんのお父さんも出張族だったのね。ええ、なるべく一人にしないよう家にいてくれてはいたけれど、どうしても6日間家を離れることにな
Oh,
った。
that's a long time.
そこまで小さな子供じゃなかったから心配することはないわって父を送り出したけれど。
夜な夜な幽霊が出るようになったとか？
やめてよ。
I stroked the back of Rika-san's hand comfortingly, telling them it was something far less supernatural.
電気が止められてしまったの。
Oh!
電気って転勤してすぐに母のことがあったからもろもろ後回しになっていたのだと思う。今となってはね。でもその時は困ったわ。お父さんに電話したら済む話じゃないの？
I wet my lips and go on.
母のことがあってすごく忙しそうだった父に言いづらかったの。だから帰ってくるまでの4日間耐えればいいやって。
But what about everything in your fridge? Ah!
まあ、暗くなったら眠っちまえばいいんだしな。
I nod. I tell them that because the water and stove ran on gas, I was okay for baths and food. But I just couldn't go on without my nightly reading session.
処置的にはわからないでもないが、でも電気が止められてるんだろ？
棚の奥に防災袋があってその中にろうそくがあったのを知っていたから日が沈んでからはろうそくをつけていたの。
Smart. It was just like this. For a long moment, I stare into the flickering flames of the candles. Sensing that my story is about to take a turn, the others remain silent. Dredging up with the old memories, I continue on.
日が暮れる前に用を済ませ暗くなってからはテーブルの上にろうそくを立て眠くなるまで本を読んだわ。想像すると雰囲気があって素敵な感じね。ええ、でも集中して本を読んでいるとやっぱり薄暗さが気になったの。だから初めはろうそくを増やそうとした。でも
Reading by candle outside candle light, candlelight, does sound fun in concept, but it's not actually very good on your eyes. That's when my gaze fell upon the mirror in my room.
一本でも明るくなる方法を考えた。それはろうそくを中心に合わせ鏡を作ることだったの。
へえ、合わせ鏡。
合わせ鏡に曰くがあるのは知っていたけれど、ろうそくを挟んで合わせ鏡をすると、鏡の中にろうそくがいくつも並んで、すごく綺麗だった。それに光量が増した気分になったし、私は合わせ鏡の前で本を読むことにしたの。
Feeling inspired, I decided to reread my favorite book. The third day of my father's trip passed by without incident.
その言い方だと。
ええ、4日目になると慣れたもので、夜になると支度をしてゆっくりと読書をした。
そこで夢につながるわけか。
夢の中の私は真っ暗な突き出した手のひらさえ見えない暗闇の中に立っていた。けれど次第に目が慣れていくと、そこは長い長い階段の途中だってことに気がついたの。すごく長い階段だったけれど疲れることはなかった。けれどこの階段を登り終えたらいけないということだけは直感的に理解していた。
それで
登りきる前に何か奇妙な気配がして目を覚ましたと、ちょうど目の前のろうそくが消える瞬間だった。私は慌てて火の始末をしてベッドに潜り込んだわ。
Suddenly, a wind rattles the window, and my Amici partner jumps. The tension in the room mounts. Being with son staring intently at one of the candles.
嫌な夢は見たけれど、それは夢。私は5日目も同じく日中に夜を澄まし、夜はろうそくの明かりの前で読書をした。
すごいね。私的に絶対無理だよ。
明日になったら父が帰ってくるというのもあったし、こんな稀有な体験はもうできないと思ったからかもしれない。私は合わせ鏡の前で本を読み、やはりいつの間にか眠ってしまったの。
And I had the same dream again, I say, turning the scene over in my mind as I
夢
speak.
の中の私は昨日と同じ真っ暗な中、ひたすら階段を登っていた。でも前の日と違うところは、一段階段を上がるたびに疲労がのしかかってきたこと。長く階段を登り、とうに限界を迎えているのに、体は歩みを止めてくれない。苦痛と、そして嫌な予感は強まっていった。階段の終わりが近づいていたの。ようやく終わるという気持ちと、私自身が終わってしまうという気持ち。焦りと恐怖を感じていると、私の目に階段が途切れているのが見えた。
And then... The clatter of the wind interrupts me. As everyone shrinks back, I tell them that I woke up before I reached the top of the stairs, and a palpable wave of relief runs through the room.
階段を登りきることはなかったんだね。よかった。夢の話って結構怖いわよね。
独特の雰囲気はあるよな。
Before they can get further into discussing it, I tell them that my story isn't over yet.
だって6日目にはお父さんが帰ってきたんでしょ。
私もそう思っていたの。
My father didn't return at the time he was supposed to, and as I waited for him, night fell.
夜ってまさか。
そう。私はまた合わせ鏡の前で本を読んだの。
How many candles did you have? The searching stares all ask one question. Why? I don't know the answer to that myself.
遅くなっているとはいえ、帰ってこないことはないから、本を読んでいる間に戻ってくると思っていたのよ。
On the surface, that was my reasoning, but looking back on it now, I'm unsure of my real reasons. Perhaps I was in a precarious place mentally due to my mother's illness.
その日は読書というよりも合わせ鏡に映るろうそくの火を眺めていた。火をじっと見ていると不思議と心が穏やかになって怖い
私はいつしか眠りについていた。夢の中で目を覚ますと暗闇の中だったけれど、階段を登っている途中ではなかった。すでに階段の上にたどり着いていたのよ。
Listen, if I had the same dream like 5 nights in a row, and it was creepy like that, I would never want to go to sleep again. What the
それで何か恐ろしいことがあったの？ううん。その時はまだ。ただ4畳ほどの階段の上で私は椅子に座っていた。
何を？
階段を登ってくる何かを。暗闇で見通すことなんてできないけれど、何かが階段を這ってくるのだけは分かったわ。椅子の上で身じろぎもできず、ただ階段から来る何者かを待っている私。暗闇の中で時間がどれほど経ったのかもわからない。もうすぐそこまで得体の知れないものが来るのがわかる。顔を背けたいけれど動けない。目をつむりたいけれど目を閉ざすことができない。ただ階段を這ってくる音だけが聞こえ、ついに暗闇から白い手だけが見えたの。私はあまりの恐怖に飛び起きたわ。目の前には今にも消えそうなろうそく。そして油汗が額に浮かんだ私を鏡は映していた。
And then
合わせ鏡の中に私がいたの。え？それはいるでしょ。だって。違うの。笑っている私がいたの。恐怖で引きつっている自分ならわかる。でも何人もの私は笑っていたのよ。そして彼女は白い手を伸ばして。その時にようやく父が帰ってきたの。ろうそくの火を消
Okay,
え
what do we learn from this? We do not set up
彼女も消えてしまった。
infinity mirrors to read by the candlelight, especially not if we're home alone. Inform them that this is the end of my tale, and everyone lets out a collective breath.
おいおい、めちゃくちゃ怖い話じゃねえかよ。
花火師さんなんて声も上げられないみたいじゃない。
I quickly looked to Rika-san, who's staring fixedly down at her feet. Putting an arm around her shoulders, I tell her I'm sorry.
大丈夫よ。後半は耳を塞いでいたし。
So she says, but her hands are gripping my arm so tightly it almost hurts. I stroke her head comfortingly.
そろそろしまいにするか。これ以上はなさそうだしよ。
もう終わりにするですか？
Everyone looks to Ringo-san, who's spoken up for the first time.
なんだ、真打ちの登場か。
ずっと黙っていたからどうしたのかと思ったよ。次に話そうと思っていた階段は組み立てが難しかったですからね。なんだかこっちも期待できそうね。
Beneath the excited chatter, I'm the only one who catches my MT partner's whisper, give me a break. I take a sip of my cold tea to hide my smile.
では鳥として話しますですよ。私としての階段はタルパが関わったものです。
Nani. The word brings a reflexive gasp from me, and I look to Ringo-san. Everyone else except for Ichigo-san is also looking at her with suspicion, and she smiles faintly in response. The star enters the Ringo.
皆さんタルパをご存知のようですね。確かに階段としてタルパを語るのは珍しいかもです。なぜその名前を？以前エリカ先生にタルパで面白い話を知っているかと聞かれたので温めておいたのですよ。
So this isn't about the 7 mysteries. She must be talking about the time when I asked Ichigo-san and Ko to see whether they could find any references to tulpas in general in the library.
そういえば話した気もする。
She admits and Takasaki-san prods her. Then she turns to me and inclines her head in surreptitious apology.
私が話すタルパはきちんとした意味のタルパではなく、現代に即し形を変えたタルパの方なのです。形を変えた？精神修行の際の幻覚的なそれでなく、現代のタルパは自分から望み生み出そうとするものなのです。
From the self.
どういうこと？
自らが空想から作り出す友人、イマジナリーフレンドとしてのタルパなのですよ。
This latter English term is familiar to me. It's a name given to a psychological phenomenon.
確か自分の中の空想の中だけの友人でしょ。幼い頃によく見られると聞いたことがあるわ。
頭の中だけでなく、自分の目でその疑似的友人を見ることもあるそうなのです。そしてその友人が助言などで助けてくれることもあるとか。
Something you can see not just with your mind's eye, but with your actual eyes.
私がこれから話すのは、長く囚われていた男性が作り出したタルパのお話です。
I can even give advice.
何か大切な鍵を得た気がする。
Staring into the flickering flame of the candle, I speak to the Mayuri inside my hand. It's really zombies on your mind? Oh no! When... I don't know. Like when I was around 5, 6? I think I was starting school already. I had this recurring nightmare where I was visiting my grandmother, and my grandmother's apartment is on the ground floor. And she had like two, like the bedroom is on one side of the building, and then the living room and also the door to the garden is on the other side. And I had this recurring nightmare about us all being stuck in this apartment because there was a giant dinosaur on the outside. So whenever we tried to go out the one door, it would come down and be like, and so we obviously closed the door and we ran to the other side, tried to go out there because, okay, if its head is over on this side, we can get out the other side. No, because it would just immediately go on the other side as well. It's not a very big apartment. So my children's brain at the time apparently was like, yeah, that is a thing I can repeatedly have such a vivid nightmare about that I still remember it now, like 20 years later. Thank you for the lyric. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's fun. I don't like that. She snaps her fingers.
正解だ。飲み込みが早い。
Scene is one I never would have witnessed in spring or even in early summer. Our classmates are clustered around Erika-san, beseeching her to help them with their English since she's so good at it. The previous day, Sister Basquiat informed us there would be an English pop quiz, but that's not their only motivation.
八重垣さん、もう怪我の具合はいいの？
ああ、頭はもう平気だ。悪いのは口だけ。
I love her. She's so cute. Thank you for the hydrate time. And save. Save. And the pet. Everyone titters at her joke. I'm sure they're also sticking close to her out of genuine concern for her and her injury. Ever since the ballet recital, she's become more friendly with our classmates.
教室での雰囲気も明るくなった。
Yippee! Everyone's getting along. The Erika-san was injured a few days prior, and Takasaki-san grilled me in the classroom over my possible involvement. People walked on the eggshells around me. While no one slandered me to my face, the atmosphere was painfully different to usual. However...
頭の怪我？夜中、とある本をどうしても読みたくなったんで、会長殿を誘って図書室へ行ったのはいいが、夜の図書室があまりに怪談を語るにはいい雰囲気でさ、つい舌が乗って会長殿を脅かしすぎたら逆襲を食らったんだ。
So she breezily told them. Apparently my hasty counterattack, I caught my leg in a wheelchair and we both came tumbling down in a case of mutually assured self-destruction.
八代前会長とのいざこざは話せないもん。
That's a pretty good story, actually. The misunderstanding has been cleared up, but I still sense that my classmates have their barriers up when they greet me.
ノーベル賞はいらないけれど、感謝は欲しい。
There's a ripple of laughter followed by this response from Erika-san. She must have made a funny joke.
クラスメートと打ち解けたのはいいけれど。
Beside her, Takasaki-san's gaze is piercing. I understand how she's feeling. Seeing a close friend getting along like a house on fire with someone else, it doesn't feel good. This is another emotion I never would have felt had I not come to the academy.
ごきげんよう。ごきげんよう。
Okay. I returned the greeting, then looked toward my amitié partner, who's surrounded by a bigger group than anyone else. Hell yeah.
ホームルームを終える前に発表があります。
Have we chosen the play? Sister Pascal's voice cuts through the room. We all look up at her expectantly as she stands there, her hands clasped together as though she's about to launch into prayer. As we regard her quizzically, she informs us that it's about the play. Yes!
皆さんに意見を述べてもらった演劇会での演目ですが、私の方で決めさせていただきました。
Yes! Chatter bubbles up in the room at this news. Dickerson's hand goes up into the air and she gets to her feet.
演目は私たちで挙げたいくつかの案があったと思うのですが、もちろん皆さんの意見を取り入れた結果です。候補の中から決めさせていただきました。
With a beatific smile, she picks up a piece of chalk and turns to the blackboard.
今年の送別会に演じる演目は
Yes? Yes?
ハイカブリ姫です。
Oh! Aschenputtel! There are different reactions from every corner of the room. Wait, are we doing the Aschenputtel where the stepsisters actually get like the palm, you know, the parts of the feet cut off, or are we doing the slightly less bloody one? Those familiar with the story are saying that's a little childish. Those who don't know it are sounding out the name in confusion. Then
ダリア先生、ハイカブリ姫って有名な作品なんですか？ Do you mean?
ハイカブリ姫はシンデレラのことよ。
she explains that the story of Cinderella as we know it today stems from an old fairy tale that has been iterated upon many times over the centuries. The other one is a relic of history. Oh. In my German Grimm's Fairy Tales book, it's not the toned down version. Hold on. In my German fairy tale book, where is it? On what page is it? 65. 65. Jesus Christ. 65. Yeah, this one is still the one where they do cut off the feet. Is that that version that gets introduced to you? I have had this book since I was a child. I do not know what that says about me. Hold on, from when is this book? Printed in Germany. Yeah, that's nice. But when was it printed? It doesn't say anywhere in this book when this was printed. Why not? Nope. It only says that there's 357 pages of stories. Now I'm upset. It doesn't actually say when this was printed. Hold on. Because Aschenputtel is also in the English one I bought just recently, and that one was printed first published in 1823, published in Puffin Books 1948, reissued in this edition 2016. That's relatively recent. Let's see. Which one is this then? Which version of Aschenputtel does this one feature? 209. Hold on. 209. No, this one only features addresses, huh? No, it does. It does feature them. The eldest went first into the room where the slipper was and wanted to try it on, and the mother stood by. But her great toe could not go into it, and the shoe was altogether much too small for her. Then the mother gave her a knife and said, "Never mind, cut it off. When you are queen, you will not care about toes. You will not want to go on foot." So the silly girl cut her great toe off and squeezed the shoe on and went to the king's son. Then he took her for his bride and set her beside him on his horse and rode away with her. But on the way— okay. On the way home, they had to pass by the hazel tree that Ashputtel had planted, and there sat a little dove on the branch singing, back again, look to the shoe. The shoe is too small and not made for you. Prince, prince, look again for thy bride, for she's not the true one that sits by thy side." Yeah, okay, the English one knows what it's about. Good. Okay, I wonder which one they're going to do.
なるほど。難しい話なんですね。これは分かっていない時の言いざまですよ。
I want to say them cut off their feet. I mean, what? Including the sun's lightning fast barb. Mr. Basquiat claps her hands together to refocus the class's attention.
1次元目は聖書の授業でしたが、今からハイカブリ姫での配役を決めたいと思います。
She declares, "Yes! Yes! We decide who will play what role for our performance of Aschenputtel, and who's going to make the sets and costumes." So, at this point I've lost count of how many sighs have left my lips.
おい、そんなんじゃせっかくのうなぎが浮かばれないぞ。
The boiled eel and rice dish before me is fragrant and appealing, yet I have no appetite.
主役に選ばれたってことで食堂のおばちゃんが用意してくれたんだ。
Let's go! Yes, that's how the assignment of roles at first period panned out.
なぜ私が主役のシンデレラなんか。もっと舞台経験のある高崎さんとかいるじゃない。
人が選ぶのではない。舞台に人が選ばれるのだ。
Across from me, Takasaki-san pauses in eating.
以前役者の先輩が教えてくれた言葉よ。みんなシンデレラを演じるなら白羽さんが適任だと思った。選ばれたのよ。
高崎さん。
いや、今の言い方だと人が選んでるよな。
細かいことを言う女は嫌われるわよ。冷めないうちに食べなさい。
そういうのをな、釈迦に説法って言うんだぞ。
She dutifully digs in. I do the same, my chopsticks sliding into the buttery soft flaky flesh of the fish. I scoop it up together with some rice, all of it coated in a sweet soy-based sauce. The eel is so tender it practically melts in my mouth, sending an explosion of flavor across my tongue.
美味しい。
だろ？冬はうなぎだよ、うなぎ。
Irika-san chows down almost reverently, and I follow her lead. My distraction had rendered the food tasteless, but now the flavor comes bursting back in all of its deliciousness.
私的にはうなぎって夏の食べ物だと思うのだけど。
Personally, I will
土用の
never
丑の日とかあるじゃん。
eat eel. Doesn't sound appealing to me at all. Granted, I've never tried, but also, Ichigo-san, who's been acting rather despondent this whole time, pipes up.
あれは夏の土用の時期は暑さで夏バテしやすいから精のつくものを食べようって始まった習慣だよ。別に旬だからじゃない。
違うの？
うなぎの旬は冬なんだよ。脂が乗っていて一番うまい時期だ。
Of course, she would know that. Ichigo-san carries on making her way through her meal, looking somewhat reluctant. Perhaps she's not really a fan of eel.
なんというか美味しいからいいのですが。
何？
このうな重は主役に選ばれたスオちゃんのためにということを考えると。
Oh, who did you two get? Ichigo-san takes a sip of her eel liver soup as though it's the world's finest liquor.
ああ、お前ら二人
Yeah,
は
of course they were.
意地悪な姉と妹だもんな。
But it actually is a pretty good move to have the twins play the stepsisters. A feeling smile curls across her lips, the twins' shoulders slump.
なぜシンデレラをいじめる意地悪な姉を ちごねありきとしてセットで配役されたのなら断固拒否したいところです。なんですと。それは姉批判と受け取るよ。
お前らが意地悪な姉妹に選ばれたのは昔犯した悪事のせいだよ。
The twins must be familiar with the movie because they quickly protest. Nika-san steps in to try to soothe them.
りっちゃんはいいよね。王様の役だし。
The
偉そうだ
queen!
し。
She probably would have been better off keeping out of it, as Ichigo-san abruptly switches targets.
王様じゃなくて女王様だけれど。
女王の方が偉そうな感じだよな。委
Mm.
員長にぴったりだ。
Yay!
エリカさん、それってどういうことかしら？
褒めているのさ。委員長から副会長、そして女王、どんどんのし上がっているグッドウィルハンティングみたいに。
Unfamiliar with this movie reference, Nika-san tilts her head. Actually, Erika-san's reference isn't to the movie itself, but its then unknown stars. The path to starring in the movie was filled with twists and turns, and they finally took their place in the lead roles. Still, even without knowing the context, Nika-san seems to detect that she's being made fun of.
私だって高崎さんの役の方が良かったわよ。
Where does she get?
まあ、確かにその方がハマり役っぽいけどな。
エリカは私には役が似合わないっていうの？
Do you get to be the prince?
演技力じゃなくて、おのおのの性格を考えたらってことだよ。例えば、シンデレラのママ母役はツワブキだが、適任じゃないかよ。
Council Secretary Tsubuki was indeed cast as the wicked stepmother, but why is she perfect for it?
その、なんでって顔をやめろ、善人め。
Confused, I turn back to my food. It's starting to cool, so I'd better get a move on for the sake of both good manners and taste.
だが、まあ王子役が千鳥ってのは仕方ないところだろう。男性役として映えそうな顔をしているのは千鳥だけだからな。
それって褒めているのよね。
もちろんもちろん。
誰かさんが二度同じことを続けて言うのはそう思っていないからだって言ってたわよね。
Sparks crackle between the two of them, and I hurriedly interject that the food is getting cold.
そうね。冷めた料理ほどまずいものはないものね。
私の薫陶が生きてる。
敵役といえばエリカも敵役だわ。魔法使いの役だものね。魔女役がぴったり。
ハイカブリ姫の魔女はいい魔女なんだよ。善人なんだ。
Hi, Raiders! Hi, Jean! You were playing Little Nightmares 2. Is that the one you wanted to play in one go? Or am I misremembering? But also, hi, Raiders! Welcome in. I know I like the color pink. Vision of JRPGs. We're currently playing Flowers. With the subtitle in French that I still cannot pronounce, but it's Winter at last one. You played the original one go, now you're halfway. Because I was like, no, I thought I saw you write something about playing it in one go, but wasn't that the first one? But okay. How many parts are there to this? This is the fourth and final game in the series, but there's 4 games. 1 for each season. Also, Pikachu for the Raiders.
Pikachu! Pikachu!
It's nice to have a long series? Genuinely, yes, very much so. I'm already a little sad that I will have to see it go at some point. But on the other hand, I think the first one we played the very first year I started streaming, so it's been a while that we've been working our way through all of the games. Currently, they set up. They finally got the roles for the play that they're going to be performing to see the 3rd years off, and it's going to be Ashputl, and they just got the roles, and most of them are little about the roles they've actually gotten. Yeah, she's good. She helps Ashputl. Now it's Erika-san's turn to look put out at Takasaki-san's laughter. Silence drifts in as we all turn back to our meals, and soon I'm taking the last bite of my eel. It's definitely delicious, but
私が主役シンデレラなんてうまくいきっこないわ。
says the protagonist of the entire series. Oh no, I'm going to be in a lead role. Despite my friend's encouragement, I can't imagine myself as a princess. A quiet but lengthy sigh whispers from my lips. It's okay, it's gonna be fine. You managed just fine the other few times. Rehearsals for the play progress as smoothly as the transition to midwinter. Aschenputtel has been performed at the academy before, which means we're lucky enough to be able to make use of our predecessor's hard work. Oh, okay, so we can do Aschenputtel even though it was performed before, but we cannot do the other one we initially said because Sister Basquiat was like, no, in a very weird way. Whatever. With the performance fast approaching, we were worried we wouldn't have time to make all the necessary preparations. However, thanks to the handbooks, stage plans, and costume patterns that have been left behind, we're able to get things ready in the time it takes for the falling snows to cover the grounds and turn everything white. Of course, we don't use everything they left us verbatim, but build our own version of the play from their materials. Still, in what is seemingly becoming the norm, the task of writing the script is left to me, regardless of how much I wish someone else would take charge of it. I have to stay up night after night wrestling with the new script, leaving no time for looking through the books from evening. Here you go, says a voice. Whose voice? The rich aroma of freshly brewed coffee fills the room, soothing my frazzled nerves.
コーヒー差し入れに来たわ。
Yay! 徹夜の友といえばコーヒーだからな。
Ika-san, who was in the middle of discussing the script with me, looks up at the two smiling girls and frowns.
差し入れはありがたいけれど、徹夜の友がコーヒーっていうのは聞き捨てならないわね。コーヒーよりも紅茶の方がカフェインが多いのよ。
Oh man. She takes an ostentatious sip from a teacup in a show of pride. Ostentatious. Hi, Sammy. The four of us gathered in my room tonight.
最近はエリカさんたちが部屋に訪れることが当たり前になってきたわね。
While my tea partner and I work on the script, the other two are looking through the tomes I bought from Isni. The main task is to search for any mentions of the tulpa of Agape or the name Shiro Basquiat, but there's something else too. We've agreed that they will share any notable info they come across about the Seven Mysteries or the origins of the Academy and tell us if they encounter any concerning passages.
カフェインの含有量で言うと紅茶の方が多いが、茶葉と豆の量、抽出方法の違いからカップ1杯の基準となるとコーヒーの方が多いって話だぜ。
そんな嘘よ。
いや、浮気を知ったくらいのノリで言われてもな。
Irika-san seems slightly taken aback by Irika-san's reaction. Takasaki-san watches them out of the corner of her eye as she fills another cup. With a practiced hand, she deftly pours the dark liquid from the pot to the cup, a stimulating aroma wafting up from it.
どうぞ。台本の方進んでいる？
Oh, you got up to the teacher? The one with the long arms. Or did you manage to get past her already? Very spooky, yeah. Yeah, I almost managed to kind of destroy her pattern the one time, but then she still grabbed me. I like Little Nightmares. Did you know there's going to be a third one coming and it features co-op? Yeah. The third one is going to have co-op, which is probably going to be very stressful, but also fun.
ありがとう。大筋はそのままに細部にだけ手を入れようとしているのだけれど。
Me too, me too. I do think, oh god. I do think I want to play that one on stream as well, simply because I played all of the others on stream too. Oh, thank you for the bits. I let out a big yawn. I must have overtaxed my brain. With my cup in one hand and the script in the other, I'm unable to cover my mouth and I flush.
白羽さんはあくびまで可愛いのね。
やめて。
It's Smiling easily, she peers down at the script from where she stands beside me. She smells like the winter wind.
白羽さんは台本制作だけじゃなく演劇自体の統括、それにシンデレラの稽古までこなしているのだから仕方ないわよ。
And Cinderella kind of does show up quite a lot in her own fairy tale, who would have guessed? So look up at Takasaki-san gratefully. Iriga-san reminds her that I'm Cinderillion, not Cinderella. Oh, what? What are we doing?
サンド何またお腹が空いたの？
いいよ
サンドウィッチじゃない、サンドリオンだよ。ハイカブリ姫、演劇界で上演するシンデレラ役の名前だ。
Oh, okay. Takasaki-san glances at me, clearly uncertain about whether Iriga-san is pulling her leg again. I'm gonna play the mouse, actually. I'm gonna play the mouse.
シンデレラだけれど、もともとのお話が各地にあって、それをシャルル・ペローが編纂したのがサンドリオン。
I like that we get the full written out version of the French name and the Japanese just goes Sandrion. I wanted to hear them speak French. I want to... Near
メロー版に影響を受けたというグリム兄弟が編纂したのがハイカブリ姫というタイトルなの。
へえ、サンドリオンなんて聞いたことないわ。
どちらかというと、日本で知られているシンデレラはペロー版のサンドリオンの方が近いんだ。
Oh, then they're definitely not good doing the version where they cut off the toes.
本当？
ペロー版の方はガラスの靴にカボチャの馬車が登場するんだよ。
普通じゃない。
Takasaki-san's expression says she thinks that much should be obvious. Iriga-san jerks her chin in my direction, signaling for me to explain.
基礎となったお話ではガラスの靴にカボチャの馬車は出てこないの。それに舞踏会は一度だけでなく2晩続けて開かれるとか。
へえ、それじゃあそのペローという人が今の姿に近づけたというわけね。でも私グリム兄弟、グリム童話の方がよく聞く気がするけれど。
I agree with her, sipping on my coffee as I think back on when I read the original Grimm's fairy tales.
グリム童話の方はね、そもそも魔法使いが登場しないの。
え、それじゃあ誰がかわいそうなシンデレラを助けるの？
小鳥よ、白い小鳥が助けてくれるの。
エリカが冗談を言うのはいつものことだけれど、白羽さんがそういう冗談を言うのは意外だわ。
Maybe you should pick up a book sometime.
冗談ではなくて。
I hear the squeak of a wheelchair. Iriga-san pours fresh coffee into a cup and takes a warming sip before speaking.
白羽が嘘をつくわけがないだろう。橋ばみの木の上に止まっている白い小鳥が助けてくれるのさ。
Takasaki-san frowns, but when she sees my enthusiastic nod, she grudgingly accepts it.
他もガラスの靴じゃなく、一晩目の舞踏会での靴は銀の靴、二晩目は金の靴。それと。
She glances Takasaki-san's way, her mouth curling into a cat-like smile.
よく知るお話ではせいぜい嫉妬して終わりだが、グリム童話では意地悪をしていた義士と義妹にも相応の災いが降りかかる。王子がシンデレラの残した靴を手がかりに探しているのを知り、姉たちは靴に自分の足を合わせるために。
She lifts up her own leg and mimes slicing off the heel of her foot. Takasaki-san and Nika-san both grimace.
そして極めつけは、結婚式に出た姉二人は自分も目立つようシンデレラの両脇に陣取るが。
何よ。
They get their eyes picked out.
どこからともなく飛んできた白い鳩に義士義妹ともに両目をつかれ目を。
Takasaki-san's head is down, her hands clamped over her ears. Both Ika-san, who's looking a little green around the grills herself, and I are surprised by her intense reaction.
大丈夫？
ちとやりすぎたか。
エリカさん、どういうことなの？
千鳥は鳥が苦手なんだってよ。だから目をつかれる想像をしたら。
Gonna use this to try and find out which one is the original. No, you can basically just go with like the one that's the most known around the world. Like any time you tell me about a fairy tale, I will also be most likely be familiar with the Grimm's version of it, for the simple reason of me owning only the Grimm's books. There's one more fairy tale book that I had at my grandma's place that wasn't actually Grimm's, but Hans Christian Andersen fairy tales. But why the fuck? Oh my god, when I try to Google that, I find everything except what I want. Fascinating. Why am I getting a fairy tale house? No, it's fairy tale. Fairy tales, Jesus Christ. Yeah. But even then, this one I didn't read as much because I only had it at my grandma's place. Wait, what does Wikipedia say about Hans Christian Andersen? His most famous fairy tales include The Emperor's New Clothes, The Little Mermaid, The Nightingale, Steadfast Tin Soldier, Red Shoes, Princess and the Pea, Snow Queen, The Ugly Duckling, The Little Match Girl, and Thumbelina. Yeah? Yeah? That makes sense. Most of those, definitely, I could kind of give a general overview of. I need to ask my grandmother whether she still has that book, I think. That would be nice. She strokes her chin in the direction of Takasaki-san, who still has her ears covered and her eyes screwed shut.
ひどいわ。それなら今の話って絶対しちゃダメなやつじゃない。
だよな。悪乗りしすぎた。
Irika-san reaches out and gently shakes Takasaki-san's trembling shoulder until she fearfully opens her eyes. She then apologizes profusely while Takasaki-san glares daggers at her.
今日は一緒のベッドで寝てもらうからね。
Oh.
わかったよ。マジですまない。
Irika-san and I pretend not to hear the whispers.
その白羽さん、さっきのお話、まさか今度の演目で同じことしないわよね。まさかそんなことしないわ。大丈夫。怖いことなんてないから。
Oh, the feet. We're not cutting off anyone's feet. God damn it. When she's smiling again, I go on to say that it's as Irika-san said.
グリム童話に寄せすぎてもダメだし、かといってペロー版のサンドリオンに寄せすぎると魔女が仙女になったりしているから。少しずつ演じやすいように変えているのね。
I know. Irika-san kindly pours Takasaki-san a cup of tea and offers her a cookie.
ありがとう。花火師さんの入れてくれる紅茶、いつも美味しいわ。
Then she picks up the book she was reading through yesterday.
そうよね。
As Takasaki-san looks at the remaining stack of unread books, I overhear her murmur of so many laughs.
まあ、確かに処置でもなきゃうんざりするよな。
聞こえてたの？毎日読むのが大変なら。
She hurriedly cuts me off, assuring me that's not the case. But then looking to Irika-san, she trails off.
何か思いついたのなら話してみて。なんていうか、私としてはシオン・バスキアとアガペのタルパの記述をこの古い本の中から探すことが遠回りに感じるの。どういうこと？だってシオン・バスキアでしょ？私たちの担任のダリア・バスキア教諭と他人のはずがない。そうよね。
She won't let her horror enthusiasm show in her script writing. I mean, to be fair, it probably wouldn't be a good look. With the whole, oh, we're Christian boarding school and it's a school for young ladies, so they should all act ladylike and proper. So I think her whole interest in horror and enthusiasm is a little too much anyway. It's like, okay, yeah, that sure is a hobby you have, but you cannot show that in school, like... that kind of thing. I wish she did. It would be fun. I remain tight-lipped, not wanting to say aloud what we're all thinking.
だったらバスキア教諭にシオンさんのことを聞けばいいし、長く勤めているならアガペのタルパのことも知ってるかもしれない。
Yeah, and
でしょ?
I think she's going to tell us off how we even came up with this in the first place, and then she's not going to reveal anything anymore. And then she's going to be like, oh, I'm going to fucking suspend all of you guys if you don't stop. Now, I don't think she would maybe go that far, but I don't think it would make our school life easier. It makes total sense. However...
以前バスキアという姓について
But I just couldn't bring myself to raise the name Shion Basquiat in front of Sister Basquiat.
実はな、シオン・バスキアの名を知って数日後、折を見てバスキア教諭にシオンのことを尋ねてみたんだよ。
それで
あのな、情報を引き出せたなら毎夜白羽の部屋を訪ねる必要なんてないだろう。
While her words drip with sarcasm, they're also as fragile as glass.
そっか。その一度聞いて諦めてしまったの？
委員長はあの場にいなかったからそんなことが言えるんだ。シオンの名前を出した途端、空気が凍りついた音が聞こえたぜ。
何も話してはもらえないみたいね。
A curtain of silence falls over the room for a moment. Looking at the clock, I see that it's already past time for lights out. Maybe that's why everything's so still and quiet. The deep, unbroken noiselessness, as though everything beyond this room has dissolved away, sets off a ringing in my ears, a metallic sound of silence.
私はやっぱりシオン・バスキアとバスキア教諭は何らかのつながりがあると思う。
I mean, we don't know how long ago this Shion lived, right?
八代先輩と小見門先輩が失踪して戻ってきたというのもバスキア教諭が関係していると思うわ。
Yeah, it's definitely reliant on where you're from, I think. Because I have to admit I've never read any of Parol's versions of the fairy tales whatsoever. Like, that's not a thing I was even aware of as a child. And I deeply, deeply love any and all fairy tales I could get my hands on.
バスキア教諭が黒幕だって。なんだ、スパイだっていうのか。カジノロワイヤルじゃないんだぞ。
エリカさん、落ち着いて。
ガキをあやすように言うな。落ち着いているよ。
She knows better than anyone how untrue that is. She picks up a cup and drains the rest of the coffee in one gulp. Although she's trying to mask her feelings with anger, the faint but perceptible shaking of her coffee cup betrays her inner turmoil.
エリカさん、
なんだ。
辛いのなら私だけで。
Seeing the look in her eyes, I stop myself. But then her gaze, glinting sharp as the edge of a knife, fades into something altogether weaker.
バスキア教諭が黒幕だとは思いたくない。この学院に初めて来た時に解除してくれたことを今でも覚えている。今思うとひどいことを言ったし。
She trails off, but she doesn't need to say any more for me to understand the depth of her love and respect for Sister Basquiat.
善意の塊みたいな人だ。まさにアガペだ。無償の愛だよ。
もうやめる？
いや、傷つけたくないだけだ。だから別のアプローチを考える。
Sure that she was about to back out of helping us, I'm now filled with relief.
確かに今のやり方では時間がかかりすぎる。少し強引な手を使ってもいいと思う。強引な手？バスキア教諭が語ってくれないのなら。
The more active measures I came up with were simple. Sister Basquiat wasn't going to tell us anything herself. We would have to look at what she left behind. We would sneak into her room just like before. This time we would be looking for a diary or photo album, anything that might tell us something about her upbringing. Of course, this had to be done at a time when Sister Basquiat definitely wouldn't be in her room. And so Erika-san pretended to be sick and Takasaki-san accompanied her to the nurse's office. Or rather, to Sister Basquiat's room. Since his sister Basquiat was teaching classes at the time, there would be no chance of her walking in on them going through her things. Oh boy! We put the plan into action during third period when we also knew that Doma the Katabami would be in the greenhouses. The plan itself went off without a hitch, except...
失敗だ。
Oh, you found something?
何度も言わすな。情けなくなる。
We had planned to meet up in my room after class to hear what they found, but...
どういうこと？まさか、片場寮長に見つかってしまったの？声が大きい。
Unable to bear the weight, I questioned them as we were on our way to the cafeteria for lunch.
どういうことなの？何か不運な出来事でも？
When I stop in my tracks, Irika-san also holds her wheelchair and explains in a bitter tone.
盗人にも仁義ってことわざがあるが、ありゃ嘘だ。それって、もちろん、あの人たちのことよ。
Oh. Takasaki-san says from behind Irika-san's wheelchair. After a brief pause, Irika-san mutters to herself incredulously.
八代前会長に邪魔されたの？
小帝前副会長様もご一緒だったよ。ドアの前で鍵を開けようと格闘していたところだったから。
Where the fuck are they living? They still have access to just the entire school. Hello? I'm more than a little shocked by the revelation.
あの二人が。
Despite what happened that night in the library, I still hadn't thought they'd go all in on trying to stop us, that they'd turn into our enemies. I hope that the incident in the library was simply an unfortunate accident.
怪我したりしなかった？
Amici Parno's question snaps me back to the present. Of course, it wasn't outside the realm of possibility.
それは大丈夫だったわ。ここで騒ぎを起こせば、お互いにまずいことになる。だから引くように言われて。
そっちの方がまずいことになるだろうがって脅しちゃ見たが、腕をつかまれてな。
怪我は？
だから大丈夫だったって。ただ、握られた手首が折れそうになったぜ。えらいバカ力してやがる。
手首を。
Reflexively, I take her hand in mine and run my fingers over her wrist. Skin isn't blemished at all, but her arm is so slender and fragile it makes my heart ache.
おい。
ごめんなさい。私が巻き込んだせいで。
まだそんなこと言ってんのか。自分から首を突っ込んだんだ。お、
エリカさん。
白羽。
Takasaki-san clears her throat conspicuously, and I realize we've been gazing into one another's eyes. I hurriedly pull away with another apology to Irika-san, who gives me a little wave of her hand.
でも、昨日スオさんが話してくれたときは、良い案だと思ったのに。
But what the fuck are they doing that they're just there? Right on time to go, don't do that, leave.
いい案ではあったよ。ただ邪魔が入らなければ。
She trails off, her gaze fixed on Nika-san.
何？
いや、委員長はいつもどうしようかって時に打開策を与えてくれるなってさ。
何か思いついたみたいね。
ああ、八代前会長様と小帝前副会長様に一つ嫌がらせをしてやろうぜ。
Oh.
ねえ、知ってる？何を？噂なんだけれどね、また七不思議が現れたって。
嘘、どんな話なの？
それがね、少し前に解決したじゃない？ほら、でも、だってあの事件は解決したはずじゃ。
だいぶ噂が広まったみたいだな。
So Irika gets all flack from Shiro Message. Yeah. She whispers to me as we're eating together, and I nod and look over to where the girls are chatting over their empty plate.
若宮ちゃんも見たって本当なの
Ichigo-san's voice floats over, bringing the conversations to my ears.
でもよかったのかしら。私たちが七不思議の噂を広めるだなんて。
やぶをつついて銀色の蛇を出すにはこいつが一番だ。
七不思議の噂、それも鐘楼のルーガルーだ。察しのいいあの二人なら意図がわかるだろうぜ。
Irika-san's plan was to use the 7 mysteries to get us moving forward again, to start a rumor that the werewolf of the bell tower had appeared once again.
秋に起きたあの事件は佐々木さんたちが仕組んだ狂言だからこそ。でもなんで鐘楼のルーガルーなの？他の七不思議じゃダメなの？
他の七不思議じゃ具合が悪いのさ。それに今度のルーガルーは
She jerks her chin toward Ichigo-san's table.
今度目撃されたっていうルーガルーは全身銀色の毛に包まれた姿だったんだって。月の光に照らされてすごく美しくて
Silver fur.
恐ろしかったそうですよ。
Irika-san raises her eyebrows at me.
銀髪ってところは八代先輩っぽいけれど、本当にそれで引っ張り出せるの？
I wonder whether Yatsushita-senpai will understand the meaning behind our rumor. Only 3 of us know the truth behind the previous werewolf of the bell tower incident. The addition of the silver fur is a clear indication that we want to meet and talk to her.
あまり気乗りしていない顔だな。
Beside me, Irika-san leans forward and speaks in a whisper that only I can hear.
噂話を広めるのにいちごさんたちを巻き込んだのは
私と同じで、あいつらも巻き込まれたなんて思っちゃいないさ。
Cannibalism and flowers, more likely than you think. If you just consider all of the jokes Ichigo and Dingo make any time. They were eating apples. Or strawberries? Yeah.
それにあいつらは思っている以上に強い。もう乗り越えているよ。
She looks over to Ichigo-san and Dingo-san, whose expressions are clear and untroubled.
そうね。
But a twinge of guilt hasn't left me. However, regardless of those feelings, it came to me. A letter slipped into my shoe locker. Ooh. I squint, trying to make out the path before me. It's one thing when the moon is shining, but as soon as the clouds drift across it, the darkness will be absolute. I probably won't even be able to see my hand in front of my face. As though to validate my prediction, the curtain of darkness abruptly falls. With barely any sunlight to warm the earth during the day, the midwinter night is frigid. Whenever the moon pokes out through the cloud cover, I move my wheelchair forward, and when it hides again, stop. I've traveled the path to the academy 100 times, but it's somehow different at night to during the day. I can't simply guess at where I'm supposed to be going. Although I know it's way too early, I look toward the eastern sky, wishing for the sun to light my way, but there's not a sliver to be seen over the dark line of the horizon.
送られてきた手紙。
I think of the letter that seemed to come to Shirahane right when she needed it most. Just as we hoped, Yatsushita-senpai made contact. There was no preamble. All that was written was a date and a note that she would be waiting in a chapel at midnight. Just as planned. Spreading rumors about the werewolf of the bell tower was all in service of getting her to make contact with us. Everything was going as it should. The question now was...
相手がどれだけ真実の女神が分かってことだ。
What if she gets in my face as soon as I arrive at the chapel? Maybe I'll find that it's not only Yatsushita-senpai and Komikado-senpai I'm facing. We're talking about someone who can spirit people away like with Mayuri Kosaka. We don't know how many people may be involved.
焚きつけなければよかったか。
It's too late. I never expected it to turn into such a big deal, and yet here we are. Still, if I had looked into her face after the early summer rains had passed, knowing that it was going to lead to this, perhaps I still would have said the exact same words. Only Kosaka, the one who's caused Shirahane such pain.
着いたか。
Chapel looms before me, dark and hulking like a crouching giant. Shrouded in darkness, the white walls make me think of pale icy human skin. No.
ほじけづくな。
Giving myself an internal pep talk, I force my usual smile into my face, the same smile my dad would always give me. The one Chidori says makes me look like a cat.
千鳥。
I say my Michi's name softly, and with that I'm back to my usual self. I reach out for the door. Oh, thank you for the yum, no way. Chapel at night does give off spooky vibes though, even if you're not meeting with someone who managed to hurt you once and stop you the other time. When I push open the heavy door and enter the chapel at last, the cold pierces me like a knife, making me shiver. Somehow it's even colder inside than out. I raise my eyes to the diary at the end of the night. What? Okay. Then,
どうやらいきなりアウトにはならなくて済みそうだ。
apart from the three of us, I don't see any other figures in the chapel. Although I can't rely on only my sight in this darkness, I trust my other senses, and the fact that I can't discern any other presences tells me she didn't lie in her letter. At a time, yes! Besides,
にやついた余裕ぶった顔を見ればわかるがね。
Yuzuriya Yatsushiro is wearing her trademark cynical smile. Beside her, Niniko Mikado stares down at me like an angel judging me for my sins. Bro, the only thing I'm judging is her horrendous haircut. It's not a good look on her, and I'm usually definitely a fan of short hair.
のご到着か。あ？てっきり僕の相手はスオ君だと思っていたんでね。
白羽が出るまでもないってことだよ。
My point of glare seems to roll right off her. She shrugs, her smile never wavering.
悪いがビビってやれない。マイナーリーグが相手だからな。
The smile doesn't reach her pale grey eyes, which bore into mine as though searching for something. When I avert my gaze, she laughs.
余裕だな。だがそれでいい。
I must think that by me being here, everything is going according to their plan. I'm relieved that they don't seem interested in making any moves right off the bat.
白羽が来ないことに残念がっているようだが、本当はそうじゃないんだろ？
自分を白羽さん以上だと思っているの？呆れたわね。
Like, what the fuck did she do to her friend? Girl, did you cut that yourself? Jesus Christ.
そうじゃない。ただ、今あんたたちが恐れているのは白羽じゃなく私だってことだ。
謎かけのつもり？悪いけれど、あなたと話している暇は。
まあいいじゃないかネリー。友との開口だ。いいよ。話に付き合おう。君と話すのはいつだって楽しい。
Just Yuzuriya.
大切な時間だ。
Inside, it pains me how she's acting no different to before she left the academy. Still, things are developing in my favor.
どうやっているのかは知らないが、あんたたちは私たちを監視している。監視しているのは私や白羽たちだ。そうだな。
いい推測だ。
監視していたからこそ、バスキア教諭の部屋に忍び込もうとした私と千鳥の前に立つことができた。
As to whether I'm right, but neither of them answers. I take the silence as tacit assent and continue on.
でだ、私たちの前に都合よく現れたことで監視していることが分かったが、それが分かってしまうリスクを負ってまで姿を現したのは、バスキア教諭の部屋にそちら側にとってまずいものが隠されているからだ。そうだろ？
Again, they answer with silence. Channeling my father, I forge ahead.
ここでコミカド前副会長様の謎かけの答えだ。白羽は優秀だが、今は部屋の鍵を解錠できる私を主に監視している。だから、
I wish we would get the drama series. There's so much content in there that I'm never going to be able to see. That's why you're so calm right now, I finish.
君の言葉が正しければ、この場でスオ君が退治し、八重垣君がいない方が僕たちにとっては確かにまずいだろうね。
Right, I say, pushing away my nerves, but they don't do anything yet. They simply descend into silence again.
白羽は置いてきた。まずは話し合いだ。あいつは高坂のこととなると我を忘れちまうからな。
代理というわけ？
ああ、話に付き合ってくれるなら一つ教えちゃくれないか。シオンバスキアについて教えてほしい。
シオン？初めて聞いた名だな。バスキアってことは。
Oh, stop fucking lying. Why are you taking on an antagonistic role? She doesn't seem inclined to give me any answers.
だったらアガペのタルパについて聞きたいね。こいつはあんたの口から聞いたことだ。白羽に伝えたんだって言っていたな。
タルパ。そいつも初耳だ。
ああ？
僕から聞いたと言ったが、聞き違いじゃないのかな。そんな名称今まで聞いたこともない。
My blood boils at her lackadaisical attitude. It's an insult to all my bookworm buddy's efforts, however.
まだ話を打ち切るわけにはいかない。
I have to draw it out for as long as possible. If I don't, this will all be for nothing.
おや？
There's a subtle shift in a previously flippant tone, but it's enough to send a shiver up my spine.
油断だな、八重垣くん。君ともあろうものが一瞬、無防備になった。
Why did you look into the room behind her eyes again? Jesus Christ, get over yourself, woman.
何を言っていやがる。
ずっとカーテンで閉じられていた君の目から部屋が覗けたんだよ。ねえ、八重垣くん。君は僕たちを罠にはめようとしているね。
She trots out her old line about the eyes being the window to the soul or whatever, but she's right on the money and I can't help but go. Feel a trickle of sweat drip down my chest. Still, I keep my expression neutral. Even if she's cottoned onto my intentions, so long as she hasn't figured out our methods, I'm still one step ahead. Just barely.
それはこっちのセリフってやつだぜ。先に罠にはめたのはそっちだ。
Yuzuriya is rapidly losing any and all fondness I had for her. Despite my posturing, Yatsushiro-senpai's eyes never leave mine. While I'm sure she was speaking metaphorically, it really does feel like she's looking through my eyes to read the secrets written within. Then,
コミカド前副会長様にも質問があるのですがね。
何かしら。
率直に聞きますがね。あんたに罪の意識ってものはないのか。世話になった相手に泥を引っ掛けるような真似をして両親が痛まないのか。
I'm looking to provoke her. Not Komikado-senpai, that is.
やめろ。
おや、私は間違ったことを言いましたかね。
But Yatsushiro-senpai. If she can indeed see through the window of my eyes to my soul, I just need to distract her from the view.
ネリーに対する侮辱は許さない。
Oh, boo-hoo.
ようやくらしい顔になった。だがな、人形風情が侮辱だってよく言う。
なんだと？
あんたが自分で口にしたことだろ。ブリキの木こりだ。心ってやつがない。ああ、そうだよな。だからこんな恥知らずな真似ができる。
Get her, Erika.
罪の意識があったらできっこない。あんたたち二人とも自分を持たない人形だ。だから持ち主が変わればコロコロ立ち位置を変えやがる。
I don't know whether it's because she won't stand for me insulting Komikado-senpai or because I've hit her where it hurts, but she narrows her bright silver snake-like eyes at me. If I keep pushing, I might get hurt, but whatever. Shirahana takes precedent.
八重垣くんは罪の意識がないのかと尋ねたが、
何か反論が？
譲りは。
罪だなんて大層な話じゃない。せいぜい罪悪感だとかの一段軽い話だよ。
軽い？
そうだな。例えるなら、ヒナから育てた鶏がいる。だがこの鶏を締めなければ、うまいブリトーは食べられない。心は痛むが、仕方のないことだ。
That is a stupid metaphor because you don't even need to necessarily have meat in a burrito for it to still be delicious, nor does it have to be chicken. But sure, whatever. Keep talking. I think of my relationship with you guys in the same way, she says. The words are like a slap in the face. She's been sticking her nose into her business since the spring, and I've often found her to be an annoyingly meddlesome presence. However,
今までのあんたは偽物だったのか。
a red heat boils up in my stomach and chest, threatening to explode in a shout. I'm having trouble reining in my emotions. I thought of them both. Yatsushiro-senpai and Komikado-senpai. It's my friends.
君はなぜスオ君に手を貸している？
My seething emotions make my voice break as I reach for an answer to the sudden question. Because she's my friend, obviously.
さてね、
Her tone hasn't yet regained its previous carelessness, but nor is her gaze as serpentine as before. I'm stunned for her to answer. She stares intently at me, leaving a long, pregnant pause that seems to seep up any and all secrets lingering in the room.
君はスオ君のことを愛しているんだね。
何を言ってやがる。
君の部屋の机の上にあるノートにしたためられているよ。初めて好きになった相手だってね。
There's a fire in my belly and in my chest.
こう書いてある。図書室に本を借りに行くのは笑顔が見たいからだ。自分を見つけた時に浮かぶ笑顔が好きだからだってね。
Okay, so Erika had a crush on her. Boo-hoo, yippee, yay. Can we... Could Hida feel a sharp pain in my heart, like it's being pierced with 1,000 needles? Those feelings were my secret.
知った風なことを言ってるんじゃないぞ。
今なら目を覗かなくてもわかる。顔にしっかりと書いてあるんだからね。八重垣くん。
Now, I'm not listening to the girl who was in love with her childhood friend, even though that childhood friend was almost bullying her for the longest time, and then having her whole little meltdown because, oh no, she's never going to love me back, and I can never reveal my feelings to her because we're both Catholic. Like, get the fuck over yourself. No. She says something to me, but it doesn't reach my ears over the heat coursing through my veins and the unbearable pain in my chest. Right.
この学院に転入した頃の私の道は暗く閉ざされていた。だが、あいつが
So I won't falter anymore.
私は
A heavy sonorous creak brings me back from the depths I'd receded into. The sound shouldn't be so loud, yet it feels like a gong being rung right by my ear. Forcing my heavy limbs and sluggish mind into motion, I turn slowly. And there she is.
エリカ、合図があったわよ。
No, I mean... Sure, Erika came to the school and she might have crushed on Shirahane, that's perfectly fine. But... Yatsushiro just revealing that when it was a thing she wrote in her own personal diary, thus implying that she just went to her room and looked through her personal things just to like one-up us in a talk like this. Like, fuck her. Not in the sexy way, but in the genuinely fuck you as a person. What the actual hell? Like I said, I'm losing any and all fondness I've had for her because at this point, like, I don't even care what their motivations here are exactly. And if you're going to tell me that at the end of it all, it was just like, oh, we wanted to keep Sue safe from discovering something else that would have hurt her, like, not like this. What? How is this helping her in any way? Like, whatever. Goodbye. Staring at me in obvious relief, my amitié's face breaks into a smile as she dashes over and wraps her arms around my neck in a tight embrace. She smells like winter, and like Chidori.
大丈夫？怪我してない？
At first she looked at everything with disdain. Nothing was spared her haughty gaze. It was like looking at a version of myself from the past.
エリカ？
She stares intently at me, and deep within her eyes I see the light of summer. The sharp, dazzling light you see when looking up at the sky from the bottom of a pool. The dazzle of my beloved partner in crime.
やれやれ。らしくないことを考えちまったな。
Chidori still latched around my neck. I stroke her head, then look squarely up at the girls, a feline smile curving across my face.
八代先輩には自分を見つめるいい機会をいただきました。とりあえずこの場の騙し合いでは私たちの勝ちです。白羽たちはうまくことをなしたようだ。
譲りは。
The plan was simple. I was the one they were most wary of. While I drew their attention here, press would call for Sister Basquiat, leaving her room empty for Shirahane to sneak into. Since we didn't know how long it would take, I had to keep them both talking for as long as possible. Meanwhile, Chidori would be waiting outside the chapel for Press's signal, 3 circles drawn in the sky with a torch.
そうか。 どうも僕たちの負けらしい。
Yatsushiro-senpai shrugs after hearing Chidori's explanation, like he should that's painfully familiar. Then she takes a step forward. Chidori tenses, but I put my hand on her arm and shake my hand.
この人はこの後に及んでつまらない真似はしない。
評価してくれてどうも。八重垣君の言う通り、僕たちは退散するよ。
いいの、譲りは。
義理は果たしたさ。ねえ八重垣君。
Don't be all buddy-buddy with me, you lost that right, fuck you. When I ask her what she's talking about, she responds with a trademark cynical smile.
君の勇気をたたえ、これから起こるであろう事件に一度だけ目をつむることを約束しよう。
I'll turn a blind eye just this once. You don't go here anymore. You don't have any authority. Get the fuck out of my face.
そんな言葉。
信用しよう。
And Chidori asks me if I'm sure I nod. Yatsushiro-senpai's words are ominous, but I have no reason to refuse the bone she's throwing me. She takes a couple more bounding strides, cheerful as she ever was. Then,
そうだ。
as she's about to pass by me, she stops and leans down to bring her lips to my ear.
愛すべき後輩にもう一つだけ鍵をやろう。マリア像の足元には蛇が産みつけられている。
We already have that one.
何？その言葉をよく考える。僕が示してあげる。
Oh, we already have that one. We already heard. What? She strides off before I can question her further. No. The set of their backs represents flat rejection, and I'm unable to call out after them.
歌う骨。なんだかあの二人を見ていて思い出したの。なぜかしら。
A story from Grimm's fairy tales. A man kills his brother out of greed, but even when he's reduced to nothing but bones, the brother never forgets his betrayal. In the end, he uses a tuneful whistle to condemn his brother.
あなたが吹く笛は私の骨。兄に殺されて埋められてしまった。兄は王女と結婚したかったから。
エリカ？
I shake my head, dismissing the verse, but internally I wonder who it could be that ended up buried. And now that they're dead, what is the whistling tune they play? The words a silent cry of sorrow. I'm so mad right now, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, we're stopping here because 1, I'm mad, 2, I'm going overtime, and 3, fuck Yuzuriya Yatsushiro. You know, the time in the library I was like, okay, well, I guess they're there to play that little role of being kind of antagonistic and going, oh, you shouldn't look further into this, and then we just ignore them and we don't care, because when have we ever cared about not going somewhere? But this? Fuck off. Fuck. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, anyway. That's what we're gonna go for tonight. But if she declined this meeting because there's no benefit in it to her, you know, she's just losing any and all friendship points. I don't know. Whatever. I do not care about this woman anymore. She can do whatever she wants for all I care. Except hopefully not get into her way again, because I will beat her up myself. I do not care if she's trying to help. I don't even care if she's still trying to help, because the way she's going about it is making me mad. Anyway, that is where we're going to stop for tonight. Frankly, I don't know if we're going to play more of the game this week, because this entire weekend is a little different in what games we're going to be playing, because on Friday we're going to play Keep Talking Nobody Explodes with Aura, and then on Saturday we're doing Atelier Liddy as well, and then on Sunday I'm going to be doing more Ace Attorney, because Ace Attorney would usually be on a Friday, so I think Flowers will have to take a step back and I will have some time to calm down about being mad right now. But we'll get back to it. Also, thank you so much for the follow. I hope you also enjoy me being a little Ah! Remember to drink 2 to 1 to 3 liters of water a day. Woo! Yeah, no, I have not done that. I'm sorry. I have not done that. Ever since I finished school, I've not had that much to drink anymore. For some reason, when I was in school, I could easily drink 3 liters of water, no problem. I do not do that anymore nowadays. Thank you for sharing. Oh, thank you for. Hey, Artie, were you lurking? But yeah, thanks for coming tonight, everyone. We're getting closer to it, somewhat, maybe. I never feel like we're actually getting closer to anything because there's still some mysteries, but now we at least know, like, the name of, or like, we know more about the person who's buried there, so like, we're getting there. Anyway, have a good night. I'll see you all on Friday for Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. We will definitely be exploding, I think. Have a good night. And I cannot find my ending soon. Good night.
Bye bye. Bye bye bye.